And I think we are online for the first round of MYASS Championship, which is the actual name of the championship. It's not like I'm swearing or anything. I'm Emma, just real quick share the link for the stream somewhere, so people may actually have a little look at it, because it's funny. There you go, Emma send it here. I'll send it here as well. Sending a little bit all around, just to spread some love around in the world. And actually we have practice on the way, so of course it's a little bit of the most chill part of the whole thing. So I see people joining also in the chat. Practice and probably race time. So I came up with a little bit of a solution, which is using the alternative one, which is this one. We're gonna have, of course, a little bit of a problem switching between drivers, because instead of clicking on the leaderboard, I'm gonna have to, you know, go here, here, and here with the with the keyboard. And also, as you can see, there's a little bit of a grass thingy collected by the cars, but that's okay. How many cars are in the championship? Well, as you can see on the left, it's technically 26, but in the first round I expect to be a little bit less, so probably around either 15 for now, or even just 20. We don't really know. The actual inscription numbers, the guys who actually decided to join the championship are actually 26, as you can see, but I expect a little bit less drivers in the actual race. Anyway, you may ask yourself, of course, what exactly is MYASS? I mean, the name of the championship. Well, it's actually an acronym for Miata You Are a Speedstar, which is, of course, the name of this silly little thing we came up with in the last few days, days, actually months. And what can I say? What can I say really about this? What's the whole premise of this championship? Basically, we have Miata, which is the GT Unos Roadster touring car, which has a nice free mod, as we can see. Falcon taking the chicane in a way that it's, well, not really, let's say the intended way. And what's the point of this thing? Well, basically, it's gonna be a racing championship where people drive as fast as they possibly can with their whole with the cars, and it's gonna be a 6-round championship with sprint races like this one, which you may ask, as you will see then later, doesn't really look like a sprint, because, you know, it's gonna be 30 minutes race. 30 minutes race time for race 1 and 30 minutes for race 2 with the inverted grid, and then we're gonna have some endurance rounds, which are going to be instead 1 hour or 1 hour and 20. We still have to decide that. Minutes worth of racing. Actually, not minutes, but whatever. And of course, that means that there's going to be a mandatory pit stop in the endurance races. Once again, this is a sprint, so no pit stop for this race. But yeah, what can I say? This was a little bit of a project I had in mind for a little while, and now it's finally coming to fruition. I'm gonna state right away that this is not really a competitive championship, it's just something we're doing for fun. So yeah, we're not gonna even have, I think they actually have a little bit of a crash. Yeah, they did. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a fun event where people just race for the sake of it, really. And even though there are technically points and whatever, we don't really take too much of a look at that. So yeah, let's actually have a little look at the participants, so actually the guys which are now in the server while the practice is underway. We can have a look at, well, there's myself technically with the Pacanizzone, but I'm the safety car, so I wouldn't really mind looking at myself. Then we have here Akbaster, which is driving the Moza Racing car. Actually, I forgot, one of the main things we did here for this championship was to implement a rule which states that if you want to participate, you just have to bring your own livery, and this is why you're gonna be seeing a lot of liveries for these magnificent cars. So right now, for example, we have Hackbuster, which is with his car, and I just noticed that his right mirror looks a little bit off, but that's actually alright. So yeah, let's not worry about that too much. Then we have here Tinitsu with his car, which is inspired by the, I don't remember the name actually of the car, but you know, it's the one you see in Gran Turismo for the GTW championship or something like that. And it's a very nice livery, if you could ask me. It's the Arca 41. Then we got here Heckbuster, which is the humble host of this server, which helped me a lot in the making of this event, which is driving the 69, well, this whole thing, because the more you look at it, the more you're gonna notice some things like Sabato on the front, the It's Time Pixie on the bumper, the fantastic Gesboro, let's say, sponsor, and the Enos, and also a lot of fantastic stuff like the rear wing, which has written 69th Ground Force Unit, and of course the magnificent "I'm testing this machine, you must find your own line," said by Fernando Alonso on the back of the car, and many other details. Really, the more you look at these liveries, the more fantastic they look. Also, we have the Estella Galicia by Adriat here, another livery made by him himself, which is absolutely mint, if you ask me. I absolutely love this livery. Then there's also the Brown GP of Lopta here, actually the second fastest time currently on the server behind Vipersonic, but we're going to talk about that later, of course. Then we got here Darts with the Guns 13 livery, which has a lot of interesting details like the Namco logo, the Armored Core, the Kojima Productions are all around, the tactical wheel spinning action on the back of the car, and for some reason there's also Big Boss on the on the fuel thingy, and most importantly this, which I just wanted to show you because it's pretty funny. Anyway, that aside, we also have Vipersonic, the current leaderboard, let's say leader, driving the DRSA livery, let's say. Then what else do we have actually on track? Let me see if I can spot. Oh, there it is. This is Firestar, driving another livery made by he himself with the Doofenshmirtz Evil Imp on the back of the car, the Bing Chilling on the hood, the Camel sponsor, the Smirnov, Kiwi, and whatever. And if you can't really tell by the by his livery, he's actually from New Zealand, which is something he takes with quite a lot of pride. And yeah, he looked quite promising on the lap times early on. So I actually have to wonder how fast he's gonna be. Also, he was my rival during the DRC days, so I think I'll be a little bit biased towards him, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be absolutely on fire. But not as much as on fire as Alex Maggio, which is quite a known name in the esports community, I think. And he brought himself a very nice livery with a little bit of Delta Room references, like this Ralsei on the lower side of the car. And if I remember correctly, there's also something else behind, yeah, like this one. And I don't know why I remember Spamton somewhere, but I can't remember where. Maybe I'm just wrong. And yeah, you can see already the sheer pace of this man by the 2:11.7 he just put on the leaderboard, which, trust me, is quite an impressive lap time. Then we got one of the 3 Kurma Motorsport cars. This is one, the Skill Tech one, and I think we can maybe find the other ones. Not yet. Yeah, before we maybe look at the other ones, we have here the Gulf Racing car of Falcon, which is another very fast guy on the server. And yeah, we expect a lot of him, but hopefully I just hope he has a lot of fun in this whole event. And yeah, I think this is pretty much everyone on the server in this exact fraction of time, let's say. But yeah, what can I say? This is gonna be mainly the grid. We can see there's at least I think 10, 11 people on the track right now. I mean, there's technically me as well, but you know, I'm the safety car, so I'm not gonna participate on this. And I saw, I think, Alex Maggio going wide somewhere. I think it did, but I'm not sure. But yeah, once again, this is still the practice sessions and nothing too, let's say, serious. We're just gonna keep an eye on the lap times, see who's faster, who can actually find something out of these cars, and you know, maybe gain a little bit of an advantage, or just straight up, you know, he can maybe be faster as well during the race. Now, these cars, I can guarantee you, are everything but easy to drive. Actually, no, it's the opposite. They are pretty easy to drive, but that's not the point. The good thing about these cars is that they are pretty easy, but still quite challenging, because they tend to slide a lot, especially when downshifting and also upshifting. So going fast in these cars is not exactly about driving them normally, but it's more about finding a way to not slide much, which I feel like it's a pretty interesting and cool stuff to do, because the more you will look at the race, especially if, hopefully if we get actually good racing during race 1 and race 2, the more you will notice that both this car and track will work very, very well with switchbacks and, you know, fighting maneuvers all around. So, yeah, hopefully, we're gonna have something in our hands at the end of this whole event, and hopefully it's not cylindrical, let's say. Anyway, of the current drivers on the grid, we have Maggio, Vipersonic, Falcon, Lobster, Darts, Adriet, Ski, I can't remember the name actually what's the full name. Now Valiant GB just joined the server, so another driver who's gonna take part in this event. Then we got Forever, Tinitsu, GB, which is Valiant GB, Hackbuster, and then me, but I'm not racing, so I'm just gonna stay there. Actually, let's see out the full names. There we go. So the guy was forgetting the name is Skilltech, so my bad Skilltech. And yeah, also these cars have just a hard tire, so don't expect much difference in strategies. People are allowed, by the way, to change the setups, so they can change maybe the downforce of the rear wing, the pressures of the tires, and what's not really. But yeah, it's all up to the guys behind the wheel to find and extract the maximum pace out of these vehicles. Now, currently the leaderboard looks, well, I mean, quite set, although maybe not too much. But the point is that this is still practice, so people are not really driving too aggressively yet. They're gonna be going full aggressive later during the qualifying. And during the race, very likely we're going to look at times which are going to be probably a little bit higher. We did a little bit of testing before today, and usually the lap times were between the 2:30s, 2:12 during the fast lap times, and then lowering during the race, of course, due to the fuel of the car actually burning off. And at least during practice, although we don't know the actual fuel loads of the various car, we can actually have a little bit of an anticipation, let's say, for the current, let's say, pecking order of the grid, which is Alex Maggio, reigning supreme, 5/10 away from Firestar and Falcon right behind. Then we got Vipersonic, currently in the pit lane, but still with the 4th fastest time. And then Adriet in the 5th position with Lobster, which is another fast guy. Actually, let's see if I can actually catch him in the order here. Let me eccolo qua. Lobster, driving the Braun GP car. He's a very fast guy. Also now Maggio going for the 2.10, 4.4, which is the kind of lap time I cannot absolutely replicate. So yeah, once again, a very fast guy. And yeah, what can I say really? As more people join, I just saw Yamirkai also joining, which has a very nice livery as well. We may have quite an interesting grid here fighting. Also, Virus suggests the cars having this Malugol braking system, yes, which has been developed after a cool-ass training montage, of course, to have it. And yeah, of course, practice. There's no need for me to go full-out attack with the commentary, and we got the Braun GP getting bitched in the gravel trap, and then back into the pit lane. I just saw that in the pit lane here we go, this is, if you're wondering, Valiant with his livery. Also very nice. I'm gonna have a little bit of a showcase here. This one has not been done by me, so I don't know every single detail for the livery, but still looks pretty nice to me, and that's more than enough. Then here we got, well, Alex Maggio, we saw before. This is the ATA, and then I saw before, this is Yamirokai with the Apple Computer car, which is a mix of the Rexy from IMSA and another livery, which is the Apple Computer livery, which comes from, I think, still IMSA, although I'm not sure, I'm not too knowledgeable of that part of the motorsport world, let's say. Which, yeah, has a nice little touch to it. I like the actual color scheme and everything, so I just wanted to showcase this as well. Also, just joined into the servers also Kurawing, I think, or Kurawong. Hopefully I don't butcher the names too much, which is probably gonna happen a lot. There it is, with his livery, which is also another very nice one, and hopefully another one which is gonna have a lot of screen time during the races. And I also saw joining before another guy, which I kind of forgot the name. Or maybe I'm just hallucinating things. Very likely I am. But yeah, everyone is ready for MYASS, and as we know, MYASS is open for everyone. At least that's what the championship slogan should be. And I swear this is the actual name of the championship, and it's not made for fun or anything. I swear it's just like this. don't ask, don't wonder stuff. It's all good, man. It's all good, man. And I also got just pinged on Discord on another server, which is has nothing to do really with this event, so I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a look also at the Discord just in case people need, you know, to ask stuff or whatever. And yeah, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, this event won't really have moderation, like usually, you know, good events, good Assetto Corsa, let's say, championships usually have, as we say, something called moderation, race direction, penalties and everything. This one does not, so we're gonna probably see a lot, and I mean a lot, of stuff going wrong. As Kuramingas just saw, he went out of the server for some reason. But yeah, I hope these guys can behave, that we don't have a lot of crashes or whatever. And hopefully everything is gonna be alrighty. Anyway, let's have a look. Does the timing tower work? Nope, we still have just skill tech for some reason on the driving there, so we're gonna use this one for now. Then in the race, hopefully I'm gonna be able to use the other one. If I'm not, then we're gonna have a little bit of an issue, but nothing too bad. Actually, while I'm here, let me just add the, where is it? The CMRT map, which appears not to be working, which is a bit of a shame, because that would help a lot. But that's okay. I mean, not having the map, not seeing everyone, maybe, well, a little bit of a suboptimal thing, but it's still gonna work. So yeah, pretty rudimental stuff here in the stream. Hopefully we're gonna have a good little event, but as 27 minutes are still left to go until the event officially starts, we can just chill a bit and talk between each other, really. I mean, here in the commentary booth, it's just me and myself and the cars going around the track, so I don't really have much to cover, if not maybe looking at the cars going around the track. So yeah, maybe have a look, maybe not on board. Let's go on board with our man Skilltech and see how it's going. Well, currently in the wall is going, so maybe let's not have a look at that. Let's have a look maybe at, let's see, Kurawong. Yeah, let's have a look at the lap time from Kurawong. So maybe a track guide should be nice, something to actually explain what this track is and how it works. And yeah, let's have a look. So this is near the end of the first sector. This is usually I say third gear corner, but some people say it's actually doable in fourth gear. I don't know which one is true because I'm not really min-maxing or anything, but I think third gear is nice. Then you go down the hill towards the big ass hairpin of Nürburgring, and here usually you brake it right before that part, go down to third gear. If you go wide, it's not the end of the world because you can extend and exit quite fast out of here. Then you cycle the gears up to fourth, we should be in now. And then if you're good enough, you can actually go and have a full speed part here. He actually lifted, so not the fastest, but still it's better to be safe than sorry, as we say. Then you brake using the right aspect of the as a reference, go down to third gear, rotate the car, and if you go very wide it's no problem, but you have to be on the left for this corner here, which may not need to brake a brake from your car, but still has to be quite fast on the entry and quite fast on the exit. Then down here still fourth gear, then fifth gear, and we go into the last and very brave part of the track, which is the chicane. We brake with the 100-meter board, and then you try to rotate the car in, possibly avoiding the sausage curbs. And then for the last corner you go down to third gear, rotate the car, and be brave on the gas once again, avoiding a little bit the inside curve because that spins the car around a little bit too much. And then you go around for the end of the lap. Now I don't think Kurawong did a lap time, and if he did, probably the timing tower didn't show, so my bad on that. But still, it's a good thing. Also here we have the first famous corner, a hairpin, which is gonna be probably Carnage point for the race. And then we got this section here, which is absolutely fantastic because you don't really have to brake too much, if not for the corner which is coming up right now. And due to the nature of the, you know, left, and then right corners, which are medium speed altogether, you can actually have a lot of switchbacks and fighting with these cars around the area. So hopefully we're gonna witness something later on. And by something I don't mean context, people killing each other out and so on. I just hope it's gonna be some, you know, friendly fighting between all the party involved in this magic thing. Anyway, as Kurowang goes down the hill, we're gonna go back into the TV camera and I'm gonna have a little bit of a look at something. If I can actually have a look, because I remember they asked me something, but I can't remember what. Well, just in case, I'm gonna send here as well this, because I can't remember if they asked me the stream link or not. Now, while I do that, sadly we lost the track cam, which is a little bit of a shame, because without them we're gonna be a little bit, you know, blind on some stuff, but still we can figure something out. As Falcon and, of course, Forever point out a very nice battle here, and I saw just a 112 as lap times during the past few seconds. And as Falcon goes ahead and overtakes Hackbuster, actually not Hackbuster, sorry, it's Forever. He goes here around the, I think it's turn 4 probably, I'm not too sure. Goes down the gears, takes a nice little line here to extend the running of the car, and then of course go towards the most technical part of the track, which is right around here, which requires him to be brave around the brakes, make the car slide a little bit, but not too much, and then of course go into the hairpins and then everything else. 22 minutes left to go to qualifying, and then once we're there, we're gonna be witnessing some interesting stuff. At least hopefully. Just hopefully hyping stuff up before the start of the race. And I'm actually gonna take this little bit of a moment of peace of this lap times going in, people practicing finding the limit of the car and the track, to actually go and get something to drink, because very likely I'm gonna have a very thirsty trot by the end of this whole event. So I'm gonna just take my moment to do that, and I'll be back in probably a few minutes. So let me just check something. Yep, okay. I'll be back soon. And here we are. Hopefully we didn't miss any drama in the little time I was away drinking some water, and by water I mean distilled alcohol by 99% of volume. And as we see, Falcon, with currently the 4th fastest time, chasing after Lopter and 5-star, which have the 3rd and 2nd fastest time, of course, before Maggio, which is still lapping in the 10.0, which is quite fast. We see him catching a little bit of traffic, which is made of, well, Firestar, and another guy we didn't actually see before, who is Tits. And, well, as we see a little bit of a controversial maneuver by Firestar, we can see Tiziano Raimondi, also known as Tits, driving his right Corsa car, which is also another interesting livery, as you can see by whatever we have here, and also my favorite part, which is the horns on the side, and his motto, which is driven right here, which is go fast or try trying. And yeah, we know he's already another fast guy here in this league. In the test races we did, he has kind of the same pace of Rever and Darts, which as you can see are P6 and P5, so yeah, I think it's gonna be in the mix as well, and it's gonna be quite an interesting fella to follow in this whole entire thing. I don't quite like the tone of your voice. Well, me neither, Quads. Hello there. Welcome to the stream, welcome to MYASS, and here we have a little bit of a battle in the... Oh my god, what the hell are these two doing? We had a little bit of a contest between Firestar and Falcon into the final chicane, which ended up quite badly, with Firestar spinning out and Falcon potentially waiting for him. And what the hell are these guys doing now? I see them moving all around, and let me just check if the timing board works. Sadly not, so yeah, I'm gonna see then later if it works, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna just probably exit or re-enter the server, but hopefully it's gonna be alrighty right. Anyway, here the battle continues, and we have a little bit of an example of what kind of racing we may probably see during MYASS. We can see Falcon, which I think is maybe a little bit faster than Firestar, trying to go down the inside of, I think it's turn 4, and then Firestar trying to do classic switcheroo around the outside, which becomes then the inside, and then bumping him to be able to maybe do something, but ends up happening like nothing. So here they go down the hill into one of the fastest corner of the circuit, and now Falcon having a look at Tits as well. Will he be able to maybe do a maneuver into the hairpin? I think yes, he will, because he's close enough, and he's gonna be going down the inside. Tits, although, moves a little bit on the inside. Will Falcon go brave on the brakes? Not really. They go with all the lateral Gs into this corner and then try to fight for the exit into the Schumacher S, which, I mean, the S is not the actual S, but I mean, you get it. And as they go through this fast section, you can see these wonderful cars handling beautifully at least I think it's 200 kilometers per hour, and then going into another very heavy braking zone. And as these have a little bit of contact with our friend Forever, Falcon takes a look and tries to go down the inside, which doesn't really end too well. And as Firestar goes wide and loses the car quite badly behind, they are trying to reach the group ahead, which is compromised of, I think it was Kurawing and another driver, I'm not too sure. And as they go into the hairpin, which is actually a chicane, sorry, not an hairpin, they take a little bit of a of an aggressive approach, and they go, oh my god, are they going 3 wide into the last corner? Yes, they are, and they have a little bit of a lovely touch, let's say. But here in MYASS, everything is allowed, so we're good with this. And as they go into another lap, and they set a new interesting lap time at least for Tits, which is in the 2:14s. They then go into the braking zone. We're gonna go on board with Tits to see this one, and oh boy, this is gonna be quite an aggressive thing to see. Falcon and Forever side by side into the first technical section of this track, with Falcon having the best out of the 2 of them, and with Tits having a little bit of a look, trying the outside and bumping the rear of Falcon, which ends thankfully with no damage or no deaths. And then back into the battle, into the next section, which is gonna be downhill, with Firestar also getting the mix and a little bit too much contact, which ends up with Tits going all around and then into the grass. Well, this is the kind of racing we're gonna be seeing, so get accustomed to it, because I feel like it's gonna be quite a show. And as I say that, also there's the number 49, which should be Valiant GP, going a little bit off into the grass, trying to have a little bit of a... I don't know even what to say here. We got Firestar having a little bit of a wrong braking maneuver into the hairpin, and then once again a three-way battle here between these three. And yeah, intense stuff here, with just 12 minutes left to go into qualifying. And yeah, let's see what they can do actually. Let's see if this ends up dramatically, or if they can behave into this corner. I think they can behave. Yeah, they look like they can. Actually, let's go into the static camera to see everything better. Also, there's also Lobter getting close to this battle. Maybe gonna have a little bit of a look. Maybe trying something. Well, instead, Tits is trying to have a little bit of a look into Firestar. And, well, that's not a look. That's a straight-up murder, I think. With Firestar happily finding our friends Barria and then going into the chicane altogether, with Firestar then following, not very too much close behind. Now here we have Valiant GP flying with his number 49, currently in 10th place with, I think it's 1:15 should be, and also Falcon getting out of the pit lane. Oh yeah, one thing we should probably mention is the fact that this championship won't have, you know, the thermos, how's it called, like the, you know, the thing that keeps the tires warm. Yeah, that thing here is banned, so the first 2 laps of the race, and also every time they go out of the pit lane, they're gonna be understeering like hell, because these tires, when they are cold, trust me, they don't grip for literally for life. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see lap 1, turn 1 of course, which is the famous hairpin of the Nürburgring, and seeing how it's gonna be handled by these cars and these drivers once they have no grip at all. Anyway, speaking of grip, I think I saw some new entries entering the server. Let's see if I can actually catch them. We have the Jamir. Okay, here it is. This is Jason Short, also known as E, which is driving a livery which has come, well, kind of at the end of at the end of time, and it's an interesting livery because, except the "fuck you butters" written on the behind, we have the very interesting hood, which is the drive the BW Corsa now, and my favorite part of this all, which is this thing on the rear of the car, which is "hope is the last thing you will lose." So yeah, hopefully that brings him luck and can make him quite a hopeful fella in this race. Here instead they are still fighting and still having contact, and once again I think we're gonna see someone fucking crashing into... oh, there it is. We almost had that 3-way crash, but once again, all it's good in the world. Tits slows down, E doesn't slow down, decides to have his own lap time and, you know, drive past. And as we have 10 minutes left to go into practice, we are finally able to see maybe a little bit of a power scaling levels on the left, which show us as Maggio as the favorite here in this event. Firestar in second place, being another very fast guy. Same with Lobter and Falcon. And now we got the, I'd say midfield, but I wouldn't really consider them mid because they are pretty good. Which are of course Darts Forever, Adrian, Hackbuster, Tiziano Raimondi, and Valiant GB, which just overtook Tits on the leaderboard with a 2:14.8, I think I saw. Followed by Kurowing, Ski, which I still forget the full name, which I'm gonna see real quick as Falcon fucking dies in the meanwhile, which is Killtech, once again, sorry about that. And then E, also known as Jason Shorts, Yamirokai, Tinitsu, and Vipersonics, which I don't think is gonna be able to partake in the event as he announced, so it just took a little bit of a practice lap here when he could, and then of course he just went away, which is fully understandable, really. And here in the pit lane something is happening, although I'm not sure really what. I can see people getting very close and maybe having a little bit of a training for the wheel-to-wheel racing that will await them next up in the race. And as they line up on the grid for this very fantastic shot of the 5 Miatas waiting, they all start together and race towards the turn 1, which has, well, you know, a very interesting camber. and all them with cold tires managed to go through quite well, although Falcon goes a little bit too wide. The Brown GP manages to find a way around the outside. Let's see if he can actually hold it with cold tires. I don't think he can, and there's a bit of contact, and once again Viper fucking dies in the background. So yeah, and there's another contact which ends up thankfully with no deaths, although this is having a little bit of an optimistic line. I mean, it's not really optimistic, that's straight up murder if I have to say, but yeah, everything is good in the world, and as you can see, we don't believe in penalties, we believe in karma, and everything went as planned, because now they are all together, and they are now slowing up ahead to allow them to close back by, and have a little bit of a fight once again together. So yeah, let's have a look at this one, because I think it's an interesting look at the wheel-to-wheel action, as I think I saw I saw Firestar getting a little bit too much, you know, grass, and going a little bit too wide. Meanwhile, these lads here racing, going wide, replicating stuff like, I don't know how you can say that, like, oh, imagine the meanwhile goes for the 9.7, so yeah, he's not stopping anytime soon as well. But yeah, what can he say really? What can he say about these lads? They know how to go wheel to wheel, although I mean it's not really showing, but trust me, these guys, when they want to go wheel to wheel as hard as possible, they will not disappoint you. Hopefully. I hope. At least not this time, usually. Usually they don't. I think they won't. I think they're good. Let's go on board, shall we? Shall we go on board? We have to look maybe behind to see maybe Falcon getting close, and let's go ahead of one place to the Brown GP to see if our friend Tits can actually try something. What the hell is Falcon doing? Oh, here it is. Okay, so we have a new tech called the the ICBM attack into the final chicane, which as you can see worked wonders for killing this guy. So yeah, fantastic stuff, I gotta say. Absolutely fantastic. And as we go to the final 6 minutes of practice, we have a 3 wide ahead, I think. I don't think it's a 3 wide, it's just a 2 wide between Firestar and Falcon. And let's see in the braking zone who's gonna be ahead. Well, surely not Firestar, because he broke on the AstroTurf, and that absolutely spun him out, which is not optimal in any way possible. Now, this is absolutely how racing should be. Let's go on board with Falcon, shall we? Chasing after Teats, who is drifting a little bit the car around this technical section, and being very patient on the gas. I think they are not really driving fast. I think they are waiting for the cars behind, such as Firestar, and very likely, I think, maybe Akbasta. More likely Lopta with the Brown GP. And as they get all together here, like it's a safety car period, which, as I said before, there's no safety car, so we're not gonna be seeing that. We have another mudder, so yeah, brilliant stuff, I gotta say. Absolutely brilliant. 5 minutes left to go, and with 5 minutes left to go, I'm gonna be doing something real quick. So I'm gonna put the "we'll be back quite soon" image, and restart quite well the server, actually not the server, sorry, the game, just to be able to see maybe the track map at least for a little while. So I'll be back soon. And soon is now, because here we are. Maybe this time the actual timing works. Thankfully it does. And even though we cannot see the... Oh my fucking god, why are they doing this once again? As they are once again crashing into each other. We can have a look a little bit better at the other guys driving and fighting each other. Like here we have this 4-way battle between Falcon, Ekbastard, Tates, and also Lopter, ending up once again in a very fiery fireball into the braking zone of the... I cannot take it. I cannot take it anymore. It's still practice, but Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, no, I'm not planning on doing anyway a video about this. It's just you know, this event I just want to stream it to make it available to people. But other than that, yeah, it's just gonna be something fun we're doing for fun, so nothing serious, nothing for videos or anything. We have Ricciardo getting out of the pit lane right ahead, as the whole pit lane, or the whole grid actually, goes towards turn 1, brakes hard, kills each other out, and then goes through without any issues. This is gonna end so badly, I can feel it. It's absolutely fantastic if you ask me. And as Alex Maggio also waits, so I think Alex wants to join this little bit of a fight. Let's have a look at what happens. Let's see how Alex actually handles. What's that Falcon going all the way around? I think it is. Let's see how Alex handles some will-to-will action with these lads here. But so far so good. We also have once again Firestar going wide, but that's nothing too new. But still, the Brown GP and Maggio, sorry, my bad, fighting, going towards the hairpin, braking, having almost some contact, but thankfully no contact, and then getting back towards the Schumacher S's. 2 minutes left to go into practice, and then qualifying will be the next big event of this big event of MYASS. I couldn't have said it any worse than this, but that's alright. That's alright. I'm sure you can get it. I'm sure you get it. I'm gonna try and avoid commentating too much this battle here because, let's be honest, I'm gonna need the energies for the later races. And Ricciardo got killed for some reason, not sure why. What the hell happened to Ricciardo? He got a checksum error, although I don't know why, or what has he done to deserve that. So I'm not sure we're gonna be able to see Ricciardo here in this race, which is gonna be a little bit of a shame, really. But, oh well, I guess this can happen. I just noticed how Alex Maggio actually rotates the car, which is having a little bit of oversteer. Ricciardo seems to be back, so maybe the checksum was just a temporary temporary thing, I hope so. And let's see, into the braking zone, into the right-hander, and into the next battle zone. We also have a battle here between, let's see if we can find them, Tits and Falcon going side by side. Going into the left-hander, which then turns into our right-hander. Usually here the guy on the outside has a little bit of advantage on the exit, and so does. If you're wondering, it's still in the track limits. Track limits are quite lenient around that specific corner. And then down the hill towards the other technical section, which is this section here, with another bit of contact between Tits and everyone at this point, which ends up with some serial killing between everyone. But still, the clocks hits 0, and we head now towards qualifying. With Tits going very much into the grass, people pushing each other out, Alex killing Tits once again, and a lot of stuff left to be seen for the race. And as Tits is trying to drive backwards and manages to do so. And on a side note, please don't do that, mainly because if you didn't know, there are drivers who actually drive you direct wheels or whatever, and you never know if the guys on the truck is driving with one of those. But if he does, doing that could potentially, do some harm. So, it's not really too good to do that. But I mean, here I'm pretty sure we should be fine. But I should probably tell the driver to avoid doing that in the near future. Although hopefully they know that more than me. But that being said, now we are in overtime. We wait for the session to end with a little bit of a flying Tits. And with that, we wait patiently for the start of qualifying. And while that happens, I'm gonna have a little bit of a check. Yep, just reading some stuff all around. While Tates crashes hard into the barrier. Very, very nice stuff, I think. I'm gonna check in the background instead if they are saying anything. I don't think they are, which is good. Means no one is actually having something to complain about, which is always a good thing when you're managing an event. And as Tates goes around the last corner, which is always a very nice one. What the hell was that? What's going on? Yeah, we have an interesting grid moment here with people going into the pit lane the wrong way around, which is not the way you should, but I guess it's alright here. Everyone goes into the pit lane. The only one which is out is... It says Nitso here, but it's not. Who is that? Number 15. Let me just have a little bit of a look. It's not Valiant. It's not me. It's Ricciardo. For some reason, it doesn't appear on the leaderboard, which I feel like is a little bit of the bug I told before. So, yeah, we had a little bit of crashes in this practice session, especially as Firestar pointed out, and I think it's quite accurate. And I think we should be going for the qualifying. Emphasis on should at this point. Yep, there we go. So, yeah, have a look at this magnificent Assetto Corsa thinking, which has the countdown on the top left. But here, we can now finally wait for the start of the race, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a message for the whole grid, which is go fast or die trying. There we go. And there's also Alex Maggio sharing his setup for the car to everyone. So yeah, he's a nice little fella helping everyone around the grid, and hopefully that's gonna be of help for having better racing all around. Now, 45 seconds to qualifying. As our Italian commentator for Formula 1 would say, accendiamo I motori. We just wait. We get our heat up for MYASS, and we wait for the start of this amazing qualifying session. At least that should be the point. Hopefully, I hope it's going to be hype enough to have some nice racing. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, lads. I think Alex got this, especially looking at lap times. I mean, he got a 209.7, while the other guys are in the 10, 11s, 12, 12, and so on. So I think the most important thing here is to ask not who's gonna win the race, at least not for race 1. Race 2 is gonna have reverse grid, so that's gonna be a little bit of a mystery. But who's gonna be able to actually get onto the podium? And everyone goes out of the pit lane for qualifying. Let's go with Jamiroquai here. I think the grid is still a little bit fucked up, so probably at the end of this I'm gonna just exit and re-enter real quick. Or I think I'm just gonna, stay here for the time being. But here we go. Qualifying is now underway. People are all around the track, going all around. And I think the times are still a little bit off for now. And probably I should use the other leaderboard, at least for now, for this section of qualifying. But if that's not the case, then I think we can just look at the, let's say racing, qualifying, more like, to see who's going to be able to have the fastest time. Meanwhile, here they're fighting for track position, which is of course quite important for the for the qualifying. Although I feel like it's not really necessary. And as Alex Maggio gets ahead of Yamirkai, we can just have a look at the various driver and see who's going to be able to have the fastest time by the end of it. So as we go towards the corner, and I think I saw Tates going a little bit wide. Yep, he and of course also Darts. They go back into the track, and as they try to warm up the tires, which I remind you are very, very cold getting out of the pit lane, the whole grid gets ready for what's gonna be probably a very fire 15 minutes worth of hot lapping. Now, honestly, I think I'm gonna go on board with Alex Maggio here for qualifying to see what kind of stuff he can actually put out. We're gonna see the first flying lap, then we're gonna do a little bit of a restart to see if the leaderboard actually gets fixed. If it doesn't, then I think I'm gonna I'm gonna just call it a day and hopefully use the whatever we have to see the race. But let's go with Alex, which has a very late braking point for the chicane, I gotta say. I usually watch or brake a little bit earlier there. But let's see, actually from the outside I think it's a little bit more interesting. Well, usually you're not supposed to go that wide, but that's not the point. The qualifying is now fully underway. The first lap time, of course, is not really too significant, because 2:12, 2:11, 2:21, 2 something, it's of course the outlap. But there we go, into turn 1, very hard braking, a little bit wide of course, but still inside the track limits. Going to the technical part of turn 3 and 4. Here, keeping the car straight on the limit of grip and managing to get into the next section. Making the ass of MYASS car slide enough to get the rotation you need to do this technical section, and staying very, very nicely inside the track limits on the exit. Now, into the next corner, here you have to be brave on the brake and brave on the grip. Let's see if Alex has that. He has, going for a nice rotation, then staying on the left side for this right-hander, which requires, once again, very nice rotation and speed, ending up very nicely on the curb on the exit, and now towards the big hairpin of the Nordschleife, which is not the Nordschleife, it's the Nürburgring, but whatever. Braking very hard, very deep, and getting close to the center of the track, then exit, and then going full speed towards the Schumacher SS, which can be a flat out corner. Don't know if it's going flat out here or not, but still it's taking a very nice line and going as fast as possible towards now this left-hander here, where you have to be very brave on the brake, and Alex brave is it did, staying inside very nicely in the track limits. Then into the right-hander here, where you have to do a lot of weight shifting, also touching a little bit the brake, which is something I don't usually do, but if he does that, then he has a good reason to do so. And as we run in 5th gear at 200 and something kilometers per hour toward the chicane, we watch Alex Maggio finishing his lap around the Nürburgring, going a little bit wide on the second part of the chicane, but still should be valid, I think. And as he climbs the curb on the inside, he exits the left corner, and it's gonna be a 2:10.3, a very, very fast lap time. Right behind him, Yamirokai goes for 2:12.4. Then we wait for Vipersonic, 2:11.8, fantastic lap time. Falcon, 2:13, then Darts, 2:12. Tits, 2:17, not a very good lap time. Forever, 2:12. Then we have Adriat, 2:14. We wait for the other drivers. Kurawang, 2:15. E, 2:13. Then I think I missed some drivers around here. Very difficult to follow. Yamiroka, I think we saw before. Vipersonic we saw before as well. We have Ricciardo finishing now his lap time, which is not valid, I think, as the timing leaderboard shows. And now we wait for the other drivers who are driving and probably trying to find a nice enough lap time. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're gonna have a little bit of a reset just to be sure to have, you know, a working leaderboard here. And as we said before, we will be back soon. And back soon we are indeed. Here we are. Sadly, of course, the leaderboard got a little bit resetted for the lap times, but it's no wonder, no problem, because we're gonna use this one for now, which I feel like it's a little bit nicer to show the lap times and of course where everyone is right now. And we go on board with Valiant with 8 minutes left on the clock to see where he can actually qualify. Sorry for my death in my voice. I'm gonna spostare. I'm gonna move Assetto Corsa a little bit on the side to be able to see the chat if anyone writes anything. And as Maggio improves his lap time once again, we see here Valiant going a little bit deep into that corner, as Jamiroquai actually gets into P3. Very nice lap time, and Falcon conquers P2 with a 2:11.1. That's a hell of a lap time if you ask me. We see Valiant going into this right-hander, losing a little bit the rear of the car, but then going aggressively into the gas, or onto the gas more importantly. Jason Shorts another 11.9, fantastic lap time from him, as Key, I'm gonna just call him Ski instead of Skill, whatever, because I still forget his name, sorry about that. He stays a little bit behind. Firestar is not having a good time. 2.20 is of course not the kind of lap time he's able of pulling, especially if you consider what we saw in practice. But here, as we go towards the Schumacher's S, we can see the absolute limit of the power of the engine of the Miata going towards this section. Sliding a little bit too much maybe, but not too much of a problem for the car, because now he can keep up the speed, having maybe a little bit too much of a break into this corner, and then climbing the gears while Tenitsu drives into P7 with a 2:12.4. Let's see now how this last chicane shapes up for Valiant GB for his Kurma Motorsport number 49. He brakes very, very late, maybe too late, and this goes too wide, and he has to board the lap and has to leave for another day here. Now, what can we do? We can maybe take a look at Falcon, which is currently is P2, which may actually consider the kind of leader position, considering how fast Maggio is. But let's see if he can actually defend this position, because Vipersonic is very close behind, and as a very fast driver, we can expect Vipersonic to be on the hunt for that P2, especially for race 1, which I remember will be probably the most standard race of the twos, because of course then into race 2 we're gonna have reverse grid, and with reverse grid we're gonna see a lot of interesting stuff, I gotta say, probably. So as Falcon goes into the last corner, let's see if he can actually improve his lap time with 6 minutes left, so probably at least 2 or 3 more laps left on the clock. And he doesn't improve this time. Right behind him I think I saw Tits, which I think is maybe gonna improve, well, not this time out. Behind him we have Forever, who improves into a 2:12.4, which is not enough to go into P7, but is still enough to hold firm P8. Then, as Falcon goes back into the pit lane, we have here a little bit of a scrap between E and, I still forget, the Salgarisha should be of Adriat. Should be, let me just check to be sure. Well, I had a little bit of an issue, but here we have we have Vipersonic and Firestar, who climbs into P4. And now he's more close to the lap times we saw during practice. As he goes faster, and the track of course gets also a little bit more green, with a little bit more rubber laid down. You can see here a little bit of a traffic situation between these 3 drivers, and with 5 minutes left to go we have the grid shaping up to be quite intense. Tenitsu goes up into P4, and I saw Falcon out of the track, so probably had a little bit of an issue. A little bit of a flash here on the number 443, who tries to get out of the way. I mean, kind of successfully, although I think Viper lost probably a little bit of time to traffic, which is nothing too bad, but of course something to keep in mind, because here a 10th can make difference, especially in the position 2, 3 and 4, which are currently held by Falcon, Viper and Tenitsu. And also Firestar, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be trying his absolute best to get into this mix as well. So, as we climb, we can see Viper trying his best. GB, meanwhile, GB, I still forget the full name, but Valiant GB, sorry, my bad, climbs into P11, which has a lap time, or I think should be 2:15 probably. And as everyone drives, everyone goes as fast as possible. We have also a little bit of yellow flags all around, but that's okay. We go into the final part of this qualifying, which has been very fast, very intense, I gotta say. And still very interesting as well. I feel like this is kind of this is the most competitive grid we could have hoped for this championship. Everyone seems fired up for this event, and as Viper gets very out of shape out of the chicane, he takes the last corner very wide to be able to start what is gonna be probably his penultimate lap. In the meanwhile, Jason Schatz completes his lap and climbs up into P5, overtaking Firestar. Then Lobter with his Brown GP up into P4 with a 2:11.3, amazing lap time. And as Falcon and Maggio get out of the pit lane, at least that's what the time things are saying, I'm not sure if that's accurate, we have a look maybe at Adriat, currently in P12, trying to find maybe some lap time, maybe trying to find a way to get into the P10, which is currently held by Darts in the a little bit ahead. Then right behind we have Tenitsu getting a 2:10.7 and climbing up into P2, so fantastic lap by him. Akbasar into P11, 2:13.3. Let's have a look if I can actually find them on the on the start-finish straight. Here we have Kurawong finishing his lap, but it's not an improvement. Then Darts, who was in P3, finishing his lap. Let's see if he can actually improve. I'm gonna find soon. It's not an improvement, sadly. Then we got Ski finishing his lap. He was in P14, and at the end of his lap, he's gonna be still in P14. Then Tits is the car behind, according to the current leaderboard. 2 minutes left to go. Let's see if Tits can find a good lap time, because currently he's in P17, which is, well, surely not where he wants to be. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna be able to find something. Let's see, the last corner, the last chicane. He goes a little bit wide, but I think he's able to keep it inside the track limits. Let's see if this is a good lap time or if it's gonna be a no-go and no improvement. Into the last corner, he goes and improves, I think. Yes, he does, into P8, so nice improvement by Tits. Then right behind, Forever, currently in P10. He improves into a P2:12.0, but it's not enough to move the positions. Jason Shorts, right ahead, goes onto the start-finish straight, but doesn't improve his lap time. Then Viper Sonic, followed by the Brown GP. Let's see if they improve. Lobter improves into second place with a 2:10.3, so nice improvement. Then we got Adrian right behind, not an improvement. Falcon, I don't think he improved. I think we have Yamiroquai right behind, but he stays in P9. Then we got a yellow flag in Sector 3, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing to beat, so no worries really. Firestar stays in P7. Maggio through the finish line, no improvement for him. Then we got Tenitsu. Can he actually fight back? He can, but it's not enough to get into P2. Now let's have a look at the number 447. If he can actually improve. The Kurma Motorsport here trying his best. 2:16, it's not enough to move out of P18. Same for GB, who stays where he was with his current lap time. 13 seconds left to go. I saw some cars going through. Kurawong actually improving into P15. Darts through the last corner. He goes too wide and the lap times gets deleted, so no improvement from him, who's gonna start in P11. And now let's have a look at the number 443 of the Kurma Motorsport. Can he actually improve? Can he move out of P16? Looks like a not, because he's having a little bit of a squirm out of the last corner. Tiziano Raimondi, Tiz, going through the last section of the track. He had a very scruffy chicane last time out. Can he actually improve this time? Can he have a little bit of a better result and move up out of P8? He goes into the chicane, and this is not a good chicane, I can tell you, but he holds it a little bit together at least. And into the last corner, he stays inside the track limits just about. Is it gonna improve? Yes, it does. P4, amazing lap time from Tits. Forever then follows up. He was in P10 and he stays in P10. Then Jason Shorts, he was in P7 and he improves to 11.6 but still stays in P7. Then we got Edriet still running. Let's see if he can actually do a good job. I saw Falcon behind losing the rear of the car, or as we say, the MYASS. And as Adriet goes through the line and improves into P13, we have Falcon, and I think it's Yamiroquai behind, not improving too much. Except Firestar, actually. Firestar does improve and goes into a surprise P2 at the very last minute. And Maggio instead decides to absolutely kill the competition and go for a 2:09.3 at the end of this session. So, except of course more surprises, I think everyone should be around the grid. I'm gonna take a little bit of a look. We have Kurawong actually, who is still going. I'm not sure if it's still on a lap time or if it's actually on a nil lap. I think he's gonna try and finish the lap. Is he gonna improve out of P15? Let's have a look. He does not, but still a very nice effort out of the... I'm not sure what nationality he is, but yeah. And as Darts has a little bit of an off moment out of the last corner, we can actually look at MYASS, which should be Musu, going at the end of the lap, and I think he's not improving, so staying in P18 for the time being. And yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point everyone should be at the end of their qualifying. And as we wait with a few cars for some reason out of place, we wait for the start of the race. And as I get pinged twice actually on Discord for 2 different reasons, which I'm gonna look quite soon to see. Okay, there was a little bit of fear, let's say, out of what people were saying. I think I'm just gonna go into the pit lane because I feel like probably it's waiting for me. I think it is. And here with the grid set for the race, we wait now the few minutes we have to wait, of course, for the start of the event. Hopefully it was an interesting qualifying. Hopefully it was nice to follow. I mean, it's quite difficult, of course, to do stuff around the Assetto Corsa UI. But yeah, I just hope it's gonna be the best thing we can actually look at. For some reason we are not going ahead. I read MYASS as MYASS. No, don't worry. I don't think that's intended. Trust me. But as we wait now for the start of the race, we can be happy all together and well, get absolutely ready for what's gonna be probably a very interesting battle between a very interesting grid full of interesting drivers. We are a little bit late on schedule. The race should have started at 21.00, but we are 9 minutes late, so yeah, sorry about that. Assetto Corsa is a little bit fun, but here we go. Countdown to the race, 1 minute and 30. Drivers getting ready for the start of this incredible event. And we have a look at the starting grid for the race 1 of MYASS here at the Nürburgring. So we have Alex Maggio starting in pole position with a time of 2:09.3, followed by Firestar in P2 with a 2:10.3. Then behind him the Brown GP of Lopter, followed right behind, very close by Tenizzo in P4. Then we got Tits in P5, followed by Falcon with the Golf Motorsport in P6. Vipersonics lines up in P7, followed by E, also known as Jason Shorts, of course, in P8. Then P9 we got Yamirokai, followed by in P10 by Forever.exe. Then we move into the later half of the grid, and we got Darts into P11, of course, driving for the Guns 13. Then Hackbuster in P12, followed right behind by Adriet and Valiant GB in P13 and P14. Then Kurawong in P15 and Skilltech in P16. Ricardo in P17, and last place on the grid by Musu for the Kurma Autosport 447. Then, of course, in very last place there's me, with the safety car, which is for some reason a Pagani Zonda. But, of course, I'm not really gonna count in this whole ordeal. And so, here we are on the grid. I'm gonna, of course, move out of the grid and go into the pit lane and go into the actual, let's say, television broadcast, which hopefully is gonna work. 30 minutes of racing, lads. This is MYASS, and we are ready to go. You can hear the engines revving. The excitement is at maximum, and we are ready. As Tenitsu disconnects from the server. Surprise at the start of this whole event. What happened here? What has happened? Tenitsu, who is not on the grid, told me he has to go, so We will have one DNF at the start of this whole event, sadly. But here we go. 5 seconds. 5 red lights. And MYASS is go at the Nürburgring. Lights out and away we go. Alex Maggio, I think, has a very nice start, hopefully. Yes, it goes instantly defensive. Right behind we got the Brown GP and 5-star going side by side towards turn 1. Who's gonna be braver onto the brakes with the cold tires? Let's see instantly who's gonna be doing anything. We have Brown GP trying to stay ahead. Everyone goes very compact into this corner, but the Brown GP of Firestar, sorry, not the Brown GP, Lobter manages to stay ahead while Firestar follows right behind. We go ahead and we see the battle between Tate's Falcon and Firestar, sorry, Viper Sonic, going ahead into this next section of corners. Everyone with cold tires going very careful into the next section. And as they go side by side, we got Falcon versus Firestar trying their best to try and not having too much contact into this first lap of 30 minutes worth of racing, which is going to be, of course, 14 laps. And as they go towards this right-hander, we also have a battle between I Saw Forever and Yamirokai. I think it's for P9, P10 should be. I'm not sure if the leaderboard is correct because it's not really showing the correct things, which is not what I was expecting, but we're gonna fix that real soon, of course. But we move right ahead because Tates is trying to attack Firestar, and Firestar fights back, and so does Viper Sonic, going for a double overtake and moving up into P3. So the Brown GP in second place, Alex Maggio of course in P1, and then Viper Sonic in P3 fighting with Firestar in P4. Then right behind we got, of course, Tits in his right Corsa, and then of course also Falcon right behind trying his best to find a way through, and there's contact! There's contact, and I think they managed to keep the car going without too many problems. And right behind we can see Forever getting close to this group with Yamirokai having a little bit of a push and going onto the grass, but still managing to stay alive right enough, and they think they're gonna go 3 wide towards the chicane. This is not gonna end well at all. They're gonna go they're going at it. They are absolutely fighting who's gonna have the best courage, who's gonna brake later. Everyone onto the brakes, and I think Falcon is ahead, but still Forever tries his best. Viper Sonic, sorry, Firestar goes very wide. And why is Forever going into the pit lane? Something is wrong with Forever. He goes into the pit lane for some reason, and we move ahead to see the rest of the grid as they move on. I don't know why Forever went into the pit lane, but that's a sad sight for him. We move into the other, let's say, leaderboard, which is the one who's gonna be, you know, showing us probably the true gaps. And as Forever goes into P16, which is, I don't know why that has happened, we try to have a look at currently Tiziano Raimondi or Tits versus Viper Sonic, who's trying to run away and chase after possibly P2, currently held by Lopter with his Brown GP. Now, is there a way maybe to see a different kind of gaps? Sadly not, so we're gonna have to try and keep our eyes peeled for the gaps here, because it's gonna be difficult. So if I miss anything here, of course, you are free to call me out, because it's not really easy to look at the lap times there and see what happens. I'm not sure it was pushed inside the pit lane, as viewers is suggesting into the comment section, because usually you kind of have to think of yourself about that. So I'm more keen to think about a mistake. Here we have Hackbuster versus Darts. We can see going side by side towards the hairpin. Hackbuster manages to stay ahead, but Darts is gonna be late on the brake, not really. Oh, behind I think I saw Adriat having a little bit of a wide moment here with his Estella Grisha, and he's gonna stay behind these two. So let's go on board with Darts as he battles with Hackbuster and tries to find a way towards the next section of the track. Hackbuster going very fast in this section. Let's see if Darts can maybe try and do something here. I think it's a little bit too far away for a braking maneuver. He goes onto the brake. Hackbuster goes a little bit wide, so maybe he has a chance. I think I saw a different maneuver. I think Yamirokai lost a position ahead. I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm gonna be completely honest. But as Darts goes side by side with Hackbuster, will he actually be able to complete the maneuver into the braking zone of the chicane? I think he will. He goes ahead right before the braking zone, and he's gonna be comfortably there right before they have to jump onto the brakes. So first lap is gone, and I think I saw ahead something quite interesting, which is Falcon followed by Firestar chasing after Teats, which I think is actually getting closer to Vipersonic. It's quite difficult to say. Currently he's lapping in the 2:12 while Vipersonic in the 2:11, so the lap time surely doesn't do a lot of justice to what I was saying. But here we also have this battle between Falcon and Firestar, which I feel like could end up being quite interesting. Let's go on board with the rear cam of Falcon. I'm going a little bit wide here, but I can guarantee you it's not track limits. And with Firestar trying to get closer, getting, of course, the nice line through this technical section. And now trying his absolute best to get some gas into the car, as we got a battle right behind. See, I think I saw Valiant GB overtaking Moose and Hackbuster fighting Adriet. Actually, let's see if we can find the battle between Hackbuster and Adriet, and thankfully I did, because here we have a three-way battle between these three, and there's also Jason Shorts trying to do something and trying to find a way through, a little bit of a teleport, which is I mean, it's all fair in this kind of racing. And as Adriet manages to defend the position, I think he's gonna have to face a little bit of competition with Jason Short, who's gonna try and do something. I also saw Firestar in the distance trying something, as Darts overtakes Skid right ahead. Sorry if we missed the overtake, and I think I saw Valiant going wide. And ooh, a little bit of a loss of the rear from Jason Shorts, and that's put a little bit of an end to the charge of, let's say, Jason Short. Anyway, we go right ahead. I think I saw Darts getting close to Ski. I haven't seen the overtake, sadly. I think we lost it, but he is up into P8. A very nice recovery drive, and I think Falcon went wide. Little bit of a problem for the Gulf Racing, and he drops down into P6, and I think Yamirokai is going to be getting a little bit closer. But still, race still long, 23 minutes left to go. We are, I think, into lap probably 3 or 4, so a lot left to go. And I think we also have retirement. I think Ricciardo retired. If I can see a car out of the track into the first section on the map. I'm not sure if it's him or not, but still, we go behind because we have a battle here raging between Adriet and Jason Short. We missed the beginning of the battle, but we are not gonna miss the action here between these three drivers, because they are gonna go side by side. There's also a little bit of action up ahead, I think. But let's have a look at these lads here, because Jason Short gets ahead of the Galicia of Adriet. Who's gonna be ahead at the end of the braking zone? Who's gonna be ahead at the end, of course, of turn 1? That's the big question. Everyone brake on the brave on the brake. 3 wide contact also with Valiant GB, who gets inside of the battle as Ricciardo disconnects from the race, which I think counts as a DNF. But as they go 3 wide side by side towards this section, Jason Shorts has the best of them in the race compartment, but there's a little bit of contact, makes him go wide, and Valiant takes the occasion to try and drive round outside and completes a double overtake inside the track limits. Trust me, that's inside the track limits. And as we see, Jason takes the occasion to go back and re-overtake actually both of them. I think Valiant actually slowed down, and he's doing quite an interesting stuff right behind as he's battling Adriet for P12 in this moment, and Muzu gets close and tries to fight back to be in the middle of this whole battle. This is quite an interesting sight to see here in the midfields of this championship, as Valiant goes wide and the other Kurma Autosports loses the rear of the car. Incredible stuff, and Kurawonks takes the occasion to try and overtake Musu. They're gonna be side by side towards the the Schumacher's ass, and he manages to stay ahead for now, but Kurawong, of course, is not gonna be letting this one slide. I mean, maybe it is, because currently he's a little bit too far away to try and do an overtake, although he brakes very late. He tries to stay as close as possible. There's a little bit of a loose of the rear of the Kurma Autosport, and as he goes through this section, he tries his absolute best to do something to stay close and get a maneuver done, but I think it's gonna be no use, at least for this lap. We're gonna move instead ahead to see Valiant GB, because he's still fighting with Adriet for P12. Let's see if he can actually do something. Breaking into the chicane, both getting onto the sausage curb and doing their absolute best, getting to maybe the last corner. He's gonna try something. He has a little bit of a look, but Adriet goes wide, so maybe, just maybe, on the exit of the corner he can try and do something, especially going towards turn 1. Also, we got an overtake. Hackbuster got overtaken by Sky, or Ski, you know the guy, the one, I still forgot the name. But let's see in turn 1 if Valiant can do something. I think he will. He goes onto the brake. He's gonna try around outside. He's gonna go forward. Ooh, very, very late braking for the other Kurma Autosport. That was almost a catastrophe. but thankfully no one is hurt. Only thing is hurt is a little bit of pride for the Kurma Autosport driver, of course. But we go a 2x2 battle here. We got the Galicia versus the Kurma, and then the Kurma versus the Kurawang, and we see Kurma versus Kurawang going all the way around here. And here we got Valiant maybe be able to do something. Ahead I can see also Hackbuster trying to overtake. I think it was Ski. Yep, it was the battle still between the Kurmas and Hackbuster. And here into this section, the Galicia does a very good job in the race. How is it called? Race touch? I can't remember the name, as Kurawang finally managed to get ahead of Muzu, which I think had a little bit of a spin because he lost a lot of places and is now down into P16. So let's get back into this battle. And maybe later on we'll go back to Tits and Vipersonic because they're still lapping, I think, in the same zone, because they are, yes, 10 seconds away from Lobter, but still very, very close to each other. So maybe later on we will watch them. But you know what's going to happen now? We're going to watch Jason Shorts because he is attacking Hackbuster into this left-hander. Is going to be able to do it? No, but he's going to have a little bit of a switchback and trying to fight him round the outside of the next corner. He's going to be able to complete the maneuver before the end. He's going very wide, but he's going to be able to keep the car in the track limit and complete the maneuver. Absolutely fantastic stuff by him. In the meanwhile, we got an overtake here. Attenzione, we got Firestar and Tiziano Raimondi fighting into the last corner and going side by side towards the start-finish line. Who's gonna be braver on the brakes into turn 1? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Getting close to turn 1. Onto the brakes now. They are close, very, very close. Tiziano is gonna try and do the switchback, but he's not gonna be able to do so. So Vipersonics gets back, as Kurawang in the meanwhile behind is fighting GB, but I'm sorry for them. We are gonna have to focus here for the battle for P2, actually P3, sorry, so the last podium spot. And as they go into the technical section, we can see Viper defending for his life from Tiziano Raimondi, who is instead trying absolutely everything, and I mean everything, to stay close to him. So we go on board with Tits, who's trying absolutely everything he can. In the meanwhile, Forever also has a little bit of recovery, because instead even if he got into the pit lane, he's going up into P13. So congratulations to him, despite the big setback. And here we go, very close onto the braking, as Hackbuster finally overtakes Sky behind. And he, I think, got spun, I think, because he's lost a lot of places. Actually, I think it's a three-way battle. No, I think he actually spun, because that's a lot of places lost. And we see, as the battle continues up ahead, oh, there's too much to see. I think I'm gonna concentrate a little bit on this one for now, at least. They're gonna stay, I think, like this for now. So let's see right behind what the hell is going on. Oh, there's what's going on. There's a lot of contact between Adriet and Ski. As Hackbuster runs away, Forever is right behind, so nice recovery. And here we have Valiant versus Jason Short, who, for some reason, lost a lot of places. I'm not sure why, but probably maybe a replay will be able to tell us what has happened, maybe in the future. So I'm not sure if I have to follow this battle or maybe the battle between Tits and Vipersonic. So I'm sorry for these lads, but I think I'm gonna concentrate on the battle for P2, and this is a right choice because they are very close going towards the chicane, and they go onto the brakes very, very nicely. And as Adrian overtakes Ski in the background, we can see Tiziano going for the maneuver onto the last corner on Vipersonic, who goes wide and has to concede the position. Let's go on board with him. He has the headlights on, so hunting mode on for the Miata, who is fighting and chasing after Tiziano Raimondi for the podium places. And oh man, right behind you can see Firestar, who is of course licking his paws, hoping to see these two battles long enough to be able to close up to the battle and have a chance into fighting for P3. If you ever seen MF Ghost, I can guarantee you this is exactly the kind of racing you see on there as well. But here we have Vipersonic once again trying to stay close to Tiziano Raimondi, maybe having a look here, going very wide on the entry, but still composed enough to keep the car close to him on the exit of this section. And now trying his absolute best to get maybe a move into the next section. This doesn't go very defensive, so maybe he can have a little bit of a sneak here. No, he doesn't, it's a little bit too far away. And as they make grass fly away from the sheer awesomeness of this fight, they move towards the happen. Is Viper gonna be close enough to complete the maneuver or do something or not? This goes a little bit defensive just to be completely sure, but doesn't have to, because in this moment Viper is still not close enough to complete the maneuver. So as the two of them go towards the next section of the track, this battle is still raging on quite harshly. This, let me say, this is quite an amazing sight to see. Despite everything, despite the problems with the timing both, which once again, sorry for that, of course, we can see one intense battle going on. In the meanwhile, Forever goes into P10 in the background, or actually should be going for P10. There's a battle, and I think oh yeah, there's the Kuma going wide and getting reunited with the other drivers and with Jason Shorts as well. My bad. But here, as he's gonna try maybe a maneuver into the Schumacher S's, no, he's not. He's gonna drop down to P14 and having a little bit of a fight with the other cars in the midfield. While Forever finally into P10, we have Akbastar in P9, Jamiroquai lonely in P8, which is, well, actually quite a nice place considering he doesn't have to fight anyone. Then Darcy in a very nice P7. Ahead of him we have Falcon in P6, and then we got a fight developing up ahead with Firestar getting very close with a 2:10 as a last lap time, getting close to this group ahead, and probably, actually without a probably, I'm pretty sure he is in the fight for the lead, actually not the lead, but for P3. So this is getting tasty. This is getting very, very tasty between these three, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this battle, because I think with 13 minutes left to go, so, you know, a DRC sprint left to the end of the race, we may have something quite interesting as... Oh, Tiziano loses the rear end of the car. The MYASS of MYASS got lost, and he loses not one place, maybe two, because Firestar is right here, and he's gonna try to move with a drift maneuver down the inside, and he gets ahead of him. But I think Tiz is gonna try down the inside into this section, and there's contact, and Firestar loses the rear of the car, and they stop on the on the curb. And with that, Falcon moves up into P5, and he's gonna be able now to chase after the top three guys. Oh man, what a sequence to action! Oh man, what a shame for Firestar, because oh man, he's gonna be absolutely devastated after that one. He was in such a good position, and now he's gonna have to recompose himself and try his best to get back into the fight with Falcon and Tiziano after this whole ordeal. In all of this, Viper had the best of all of them and got back into P3, and now he's gonna be able to try and run away with what he has to get this podium. Right ahead, we haven't seen much of them, but we have Lopter driving in P2, lonely, trying his best to fight and follow after Alex Maggio, who is here, driving P1, lapping the 209, which is, trust me, quite a crazy, very, very crazy lap time. And with that out of the way, before looking at the battle for P2, let's have a look at the rest of the grid, because I think things got a little bit more, you know, chill. I mean, except for this battle for P11 between Adriet, Valiant and Jason Scholz, who is of course trying his absolute best to overtake Valiant in this exact moment. But we will go back into the battle for P2 soon. We're just gonna have a look to see if Jason Shorts can actually try and do something. Behind we have also the number 443 and the 447 fighting also with Kurawong for the last few places of this race. Meanwhile, we got Valiant losing the rear of the car at the chicane and losing one, and I think maybe more positions. Yes, I think he's gonna drop into the last positions of the race. So shame for him, but looking at the bright side, that's gonna be pole position for the race too. So, you know, it's not all bad here in MYASS. So as Adriet is trying his best to stay ahead of of Jason Shorts, well, not a very good job due to delayed braking. Jason has now a chance to try and maneuver outside of him. He's gonna be trying exactly that here. Let's see if he has the exit and the braking power to do so. With 10 minutes left to go, the tires will be, of course, a little bit more worn than they were at the beginning of the race. But at least they are warm at this point, so there's at least that. And as they go side by side, who's gonna be able to stay ahead? Well, Adriet, I think, lifts a little bit off and decides to follow after Short for the next part of the race. So P11 for Short right now. And with that, we move ahead to see, well, developing battle here between Hackbuster and Forever, which I will try to keep an eye on. And of course, the battle between Vipersonic and Tiziano, which is, I think, the story of the race here, which is developing and proving to be quite the intense showdown between two very experienced drivers of the downtown racing Sava. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of a moment to see the pings I got. Okay, yeah, they got, I got some suggestion as Viper loses a little bit the rear end of the car and gets, you know, gets under pressure from Tits, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing something into turn 1. 10 minutes left to go, as the timing board says, and we see if Tiziano is gonna be trying something. This time is Falcon right behind, licking his feet, licking his bones actually, and watching this battle unfold, hoping for something to happen. That was close to contact, but sadly, actually, thankfully, it doesn't end up being too dramatic. And with both of them going into the technical section, he's gonna be able to do something. I think he is. I think he's gonna be able to late braking to this corner, stay close, and maybe set up a maneuver into the exit of this left-hander, which is actually a right-hander because I got it absolutely wrong. He's gonna be exiting quite fast, but not fast enough to challenge into the next part of the track. So sadly, for him, this attack was worthless, but still not worthless enough to be considered useless. So as the two of them go into the next part of the track towards the hairpin, who is gonna be ahead? Who's gonna be there at the end of the race for this battle for P3? Only time will tell. Also, I think we have a blue flags ahead. I think I saw a car, I'm not sure which one. Should be probably Musu, who is having a lot of trouble keeping pace at this point. And well, even though we don't really have rules for blue flags, I think it's pretty obvious that you don't have to get in the middle of a battle for P3, especially an intense one like this. In the meanwhile, also keeping an eye on the battle between Hackbuster and Forever, at least looking at the lap times, at the gaps. But as that happens, we can see now Viper Sonics once again trying his best, and as Forever gets ahead of Hackbuster, I'm gonna have a look right behind just to be sure. Yep, he got him into the hairpin, and although we didn't see that, I think it was a clean maneuver. And hopefully it doesn't develop into something I'm gonna miss, because now I'm gonna go into this battle here and go on board with the rear cam of Viper Sonic to see what happens into the hairpin. Viper goes a little bit too wide, I think, but I think he has it into the last corner. Very late braking for Teats, which is not gonna pay off too much, and he loses ground to the battle for P3. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left to go, and the battle is still raging here. And trust me, it is quite intense. It's just a sprint, but still, it's probably the most intense sprint this driver's ever had on this server. At least I assume so. I can absolutely assure you that in Race Room it wasn't this intense, but here, oh boy, this is intense, and it's showing. The blood pressure is rising, and the battle is raging on. Let's see though what can happen. I'm gonna have a little look at the gaps to see if there's maybe a close battle, but I think this is the closest we have. We have Falcon getting closer to this one, of course, but that's yet to be seen if in the next 7 minutes this can actually end up being something, or if that's gonna be a ruse. Ooh, there's a little bit of a slide from Viper Sonic. Will Tiziano be able to actually, you know, work on that? Let's go on board with him. He's very close here. He may be trying a cheeky dive. I surely would. And he has a little bit of a thought about that, but thankfully the brakes work well enough to avoid a catastrophe. So very aggressive driving by both of them, and very aggressive braking by Tits. But you can see how much on the limit these guys are, how much they are pushing these cars, and how much they are doing their absolute best to extract the maximum out of the performance of these vehicles. He's trying to have a look, seeing if there's maybe a gap in the defense, in the solid defense of Viper Sonic, and the gap there is, because he goes down the inside in this section, and now they climb the gears up to 4th, then 5th gear, Viper Sonic strides ahead, but oh, there's contact! There's contact, they both crash out! They both crash out, and somehow Falcon is the winner out of this whole entire ordeal, because he is the only one who doesn't get killed in the battle of this. Oh my god, what the hell happened? So, in a few seconds, Falcon goes into P3, Firestar is now up into P4, Viper into P5, Darts overtakes Tiziano Raimondi, and Tits is now behind in P7 after a catastrophic failure on the battle for P3. Oh man, what happened? What happened here? That's That's heartbreaking, really, I gotta say. Especially when the battle was this close. Oh man, they were pushing to the limit, but maybe a little bit too much over the limit. And that is what happens in this kind of situation. Well, that was a shame, of course, but the race has to go on, and as Firestar is now trying to overtake, or at least chase after Falcon, we have 5 minutes left to go in this race, and Falcon somehow lapping in the 11.7, while Firestar is lapping in the 11.1. Well, I think we may still have a battle for P3, but still, of course, we won't have the protagonist we saw before, because Tits is now gonna have to contend, maybe with us for P6, while Yamiroquai before, who was in the little bit of a nowhere land, which is, you know, quite nice considering that if you have to battle, you risk doing stuff like that. Now suddenly has, you know, someone ahead who may be in his sights. Same thing for Forever, who managed to gap ahead and run away from Hackbuster, and Jason Shorts, who actually managed to run away from Adriat, and the other Kurma Motorsport, which are quite struggling a bit. Anyway, back to the most interesting part of the race, which I think at this point is Firestar, because as I said, the lap time the lap before was quite telling, and means that Firestar is actually gaining on Falcon, so the battle for P3 is not over yet, but there's little laps left to go, because right now Matt just starts another lap. I'm not sure what lap time he is on, and I'm not sure if Mudge is maybe lapping fast enough to be able to, you know, do an extra lap and, you know, fucking run out on fuel consumption. Hopefully not, but we're gonna be finding out that soon after the end of the race, in the next few minutes. So anyway, as Firestar now goes into the last corner, we stay on board with him to see if he can actually gain on Falcon, and I think he is. Let me see the lap times real quick. Currently, Falcon is lapping the 11.5, Firestar in the 10.5, so an entire second faster. And I think that's gonna be quite crucial for the end of this race. They are both lapping to the absolute limit, going on the white line and maybe beyond at some point. And with these last few laps, I think with 2 minutes and 50, probably it's gonna be 2 laps left to go. We're gonna have to see if these two have the guts, have the hits to keep this battle going, and maybe fight for P3 one last time before the end of this ordeal, at least for race 1. Of course, then later we got race 2, which is gonna have reverse grid, and in the meanwhile, Yamiroquai overtook Tits, so an unexpected downfall for Tits after the entire battle for P3, and I think he's gonna probably did a mistake, very likely. I expect probably turn 1, but I'm not sure. Let's see if Tits can actually try something. He's trying, but he's not close enough. I'm sorry for Tits, but I think we are gonna keep our concentration on the battle for P3. Everyone up on their feet in this battle. You have to choose one of your favorite drivers. Is it gonna be Firestar or is it gonna be Falcon? I saw 2 very close cars. I think it was Tiziano and Yamiroquai in the background, but once again, let's not concentrate on them now. Let's concentrate on this battle. Who's gonna be the one to be on the lower step of the podium? Which sounds, you know, lame, but trust me, it's quite valuable and honorable things to be on. They go towards the hairpin. Firestar is very close, but decides to go wide here for some reason, which is not gonna help on the battle for the braking spot. He's staying close and he's braking very late here onto the hairpin, both on the limit of grip. Oh, and Firestar loses quite a lot in the chicane. He has to lift to avoid, you know, crashing out, which I think it's quite a valid choice between that and probably crashing out of the race. And so he keeps on chasing after Falcon. 1 minute left to go on the clock. At the end of that, the leader will be at the end of of his final lap. And I'm pretty sure at this point, with 23 seconds between Alex and Lopter, I'm pretty sure Alex has this in the bag, but never say never, of course. And as we keep following this battle for P3, as we keep seeing Falcon versus Firestar, we move ahead. We see the tires begging for more grip, for more leniency on the tire wear, both pushing to the absolute limit. Let's see if into this section Firestar can actually do something, can gain something maybe. straight on the limit here. Getting the rotation where it needs. Getting towards now the hairpin. I think he's close enough to choose something. We should probably look at Alex Maggio and celebrate his victory, but at this point there is this battle going on, and I'm sorry for Alex, but I think we're gonna have a look at this. First, they're gonna be trying around the outside. He's gonna be able to do something. Not quite, maybe on the exit. Is he gonna be able to do so? Yes, he's gonna go onto the inside, at least for now. He's gonna be staying close to Falcon into the Schumacher's S. And they're gonna be very, very close. Falcon goes a little bit out of shape, and they are side by side into the next part of the track. They're very, very close, but Falcon still brakes very well. In the meanwhile, Alex through the last corner is gonna be celebrating. Sorry, Alex, if we don't show you on the broadcast, but you can. I'm pretty sure you can understand. There's something going here, and as Alex wins the race, and Jason Shorts actually overtakes Buster for the last P10, we go into this battle for P3. All the while, Lobter also goes into the last corner. But let's look at these two into the last chicane. I think Falcon has it. And if I didn't get it wrong, if I hopefully didn't get it wrong, I shouldn't be wrong, they cross around the line, and Falcon should be able to defend his P3 position here at the end of the race. And well, I'm gonna still keep an eye on them, but I'm pretty sure the race is over. So great battle between them. Also, what the hell is going on here? What the hell was I losing? Tits and Yamiroquai reach out for Dats, but Dats is gonna be able to stay ahead and conquer P6 ahead of Tits in P7, then Yamiroquai in P8. Then we got Forever on the last corner going for P9, and right behind him we have Jason Short in P10, then Hackbuster P11, and then Battle Scared with a battle with basically everyone in that side of the grid. Adriet concludes the race in P12. And then behind him we got Ski, which once again I forgot the name, which should be Skill Tech or something like that, with the Kurma 443 ending up in P13, followed by Kurawong in P14. Then Valiant GB in P15, going a little bit wide on the last corner. And then a little bit far behind we got Musu with the Kurma Motorsport 447, going toward the last chicane and finishing the race in P16. This was race 1 and was intense as hell, let me tell ya. Now we're gonna have a reverse grid race, and I won't lie, lads, I'm a little bit scared, because if this was the normal race, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next one. So 16 contenders, of course, for race 2, the reverse grid. And if the reverse grid is on, we should have Musu starting in pole position, followed by Valiant GB, then Kurawong, which is shown as outside, I think he's left, so I think we won't have Kurawong in P3, instead we will have Skill Tech, then Adriet in P5, P4, P5, well, I'm just gonna go on. Adriet, then Hackbuster, followed then by, if I can get this right, Jason Short, Forever, Yamiroquai, Tits, Darts, Viper, Firestar, Falcon, Lobter, and then in the last place, Alex Maggio. This may be intense. Quite intense. But let's see what happens. I'm having a little bit of a look at the chat for this whole thing, and we have people who forgot about the race. Well, I mean, it can happen, but I pinged at least 3 or 4 times, so, shame on you, I guess. But that being said, there's still round 2, so don't worry about that. You can still join in the next rounds if needed. We wait for the last 3 seconds, and we go on the grid now for race 2. Of course, I'm gonna go into the pit lane because I'm not really part of this. And we are gonna witness this race from... Huh, interesting. Why is Musso starting there? Huh, this is an interesting reverse grid. It's a little bit different than what I expected, but alright, I guess it works. Not sure why Musso is starting actually from last place. It's I'm generally not sure, so Yeah, I guess. So with the with the current grid getting a little bit frosty, we wait for the last 10 seconds of this countdown, and so the lights are all on, and the race is go for race 2 of MYASS. Nice start, of course, from Valiant, starting from pole position for some unknown reason. And as we go towards turn 1, he's still keeping quite nicely into P1. Let's see if the guy behind him, which is the 443 Coma, is going to be able to do something. Onto the brakes, they are all together. And, well, this wasn't very long-lived by everyone. And it's absolute chaos right behind, because everyone is getting killed left and right by everyone. So, back to the actual racing timing screen, and we have absolute chaos here with Alex Maggio actually slicing through, and we have Firestar going off into the off track, while we have also our protagonist Maggio climbing up into P10, trying to find a way maybe through the traffic, which is currently fighting. Ahead we can see Viper Sonic getting into P1 quite easily, but here behind we have a battle worth of be looking, and we go on board with Alex Maggio while trying to survive this whole thing, because both with cold tires, both with everyone trying their best to, you know, survive this. We go towards the hairpin. Let's see what Alex can do. He's gonna be trying to stay around the outside. He gets hit by darts and goes off. So everything is gonna be to be redone by Maggio. So a nice start, sadly undone by a little bit of a contact. And here instead we have a battle between the Galicia and Valiant, but at the same time we also have this battle between Viper, Darts and Jamiroquai going into this left-hander who's gonna be ahead into the breaking point. Falcon tries his best, there's a lot of contact, but they're gonna be staying quite alive. They're not gonna be 4 wide here, please, and there we go. We got a little bit of contact, but I think they managed to stay kinda alive. Please, I need this. My racing is kinda dying. And as they go towards the chicane, I'm a little bit scared, because they are, you know, going not exactly in the way I would expect. We can see them going into the chicane at full speed, and I think I saw someone crashing right behind. Let me have a look. Yes, it's Firestar and Hackbuster going sadly wide, and oh, Falcon gets spun, and Maggio manages to drive up into 414 as Falcon fucking dies right behind. For some reason the leaderboard is not working correctly even here, so we have 2 leaderboards and neither is working. So either I find a solution, or we're gonna have to find a way through. Actually no, I think it's okay, it's just that P3 is actually P1 in this leaderboard, so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to find a way through out of this. But as this goes through, we can see Valiant GP trying his best, and also Jason Short just spun, and as they are battling for, I think it's P9 at this point, they have a little bit of contact, and they go a little bit wide. That's okay though. We go on board with Lobder, actually not on board, we just look at Lobder and see what he can actually do, as he goes a little bit, well, not nicely, into this next corner, and as he tries to find a way through, Jamiroquai is gonna be looking at the hairpin and maybe having a go in this next section of the track. Maggio right behind, we can see him very menacing with his red and black livery, and as they go almost 3 wide around here, Dots is having a look, maybe trying to find a way through, and as these 2 of them go side by side into this next section, let's see who's gonna be ahead, Jamiroquai or Lobder. Well, surely not Lobder, because that contact killed both of them, and Darts manages to get ahead, and so does basically everyone. Especially Maggio, who's now ahead also of Darts, and very soon I think is going to be able to have a little bit of a go at Valiant GP as well. In the meanwhile, behind I can see Musu falling through the order. I think he has had an accident, very likely. And as we look at Maggio trying to find a way through at Valiant GP, and quite easily so, I think so, into the braking zone, will Maggio be able to stay ahead? I'm pretty sure he will, into the chicane, very aggressive, very on the limit, but still ahead. In the meanwhile, fastest lap, not for Vipersonic, but for Forever, right behind him. Actually, let's have a look at Forever, because I think... Is he close enough? Yes, he's closing on the leader, which is Vipersonic, so we may have an actual battle for the lead here, which, once again, is shown as P3 for some reason, but trust me, this is actually the battle for the lead. So, let's see. Forever versus Vipersonic for P1, as the battle also rages on in the back parts of the grid, especially for Jamiroquai and Musso, who are, well, very far away from the rest of the grid, but the race is still long. And finally, we are cycling through the drivers like Ricciardo. We maybe be able to get a more accurate reading, maybe, in a few moments of the leaderboard. So, as Ricciardo for some reason gets cycled out of the leaderboard, which once again is backed out, and once again I hereby ask sorry for this little bit of a technical mishap on my side. We keep an eye on this battle between the Polish driver, Vipersonic, and the Italian driver, Hackmaster, both fighting and moving towards the Schumacher S's. There's also a battle behind. I think that was probably, yep, Valiant GB and Darts fighting, and I think Darts got probably pushed out because he lost 2 positions to both Lobster and Firestar at the same time. Once again, sorry if I don't, if I'm not able to, you know, show everything that's going on the grid. It's quite difficult to do so, but hopefully this is exciting enough as well. Let's go on board with Forever as he chases after Vipersonics, and here, up into 5th gear, going at full speed towards the braking point for the chicane. He's gonna be trying for a late dive, but it's very optimistic and it doesn't pay off, and they both stay in the same position as before. In the meanwhile, Falcon drives up into P12 as E, I think, had a little bit of an accident, and Tits is getting close for this battle for the lead. I just wonder, will the other actual timing screen work? Of course fucking not, so I guess we're gonna be staying here, and Tits sets the fastest lap at 2:12.1. So this battle is getting quite intense. But still, this gets beaten by Alex Maggio, currently in not P6 but P5, chasing after these guys here. Actually, let's go find out where Maggio is. There he is, right ahead of Adriet, trying his absolute best to, well, run away from him and probably catch Skilltech right ahead and possibly get more position before the end of the race. 22 minutes is of course a very long race, and I think he can try something in the next few part of the race. My English is absolutely leaving me, if you're wondering, and that's because it's not easy to narrate with a different language than your home language for this long. In the meanwhile, I saw a little bit of chaos right behind. Oh yeah, well, it's not a little bit of chaos. There's a literal battle raging on right behind with Falcon and Valiant GB, and those, I think that's Darts right ahead. Yes, it is. And as they go towards the next section, Darts manages to stay ahead, but Falcon gets a little bit of a bump, but manages to not get killed before the next section. The battle ahead, you can see that on the right, they are still very close. And I think I'm gonna go and look at Maggio, because he is catching quite easily the Kurma right ahead. And I expect probably a maneuver to happen quite soon. Also Falcon, Hackmaster and Dal still fighting right behind. I'm sorry once again if I'm not showing that, but the battles are here in the upper places. And ooh, very aggressive entry from Maggio. Surely he's having a little bit of fun this time, instead of running away alone in P1. And now down onto the gas, the top 3 are still there racing, trying to keep the pace up and run away from these 2 lads right here. And let's see what Maggio can do. He's gonna be able to mount a maneuver, mount an attack into the chicane. Well, surely he's gonna be able to mount some pressure. Ooh, very aggressive into the entry. And ooh, the Kurma loses the rear of the car, but manages to stay alive and live to tell for another day. And in the meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead, because in all of this, finally, Forever has managed to go side by side with Vipersonic, and they go into turn 1 all together. Let's see who's gonna be able to have the best out of the exit of the corner, and the answer is, I think, Vipersonic currently, but let's see if Forever maybe is able to do something, find a way through into this next section. He probably is able, but I'm pretty sure it's not a very you know, wise thing to do, because with Maggio getting this close and free air right behind, I think the last thing they want is to lose time in battle while battling together, so they should maybe try and collaborate to try and maximize the result, but that's not what's happening. Currently, there's Forever trying his absolute best to try and overtake Viper, and Viper stoically keeping the position and staying currently in the lead of the race. Now Tits is also close, they are very very close, and I can see and hear Maggio right behind getting closer as well. And I think Tits is gonna be trying something. Ooh, we have Forever going a little bit too wide. Tits is finally side by side, and is he gonna be able to conclude the maneuver before the next section? They're gonna be side by side on the S, but no, he decides to, you know, lift off and wait for the next section to maybe try a different kind of maneuver. In the meanwhile, Viper gets a little bit of a breathing room and manages to run away, while these three battle as hard as possible between each other. I gotta take some breath, because this is intense, lads. More intense than you may think. And so, as we move on, also Lobder managed to overtake Adriet and is moving into the upper places as well. Lobder, as we saw before, he is quite fast and he showed that he can actually conquer the podium position, so I would keep an eye on him on the leaderboard as well. And Jamiroquai actually disconnected, so we got another DNF on this race, sadly. But here we go. In the meanwhile, well, we got another DNF, of course, in this whole championship, in this very harsh environment. The battle for the lead continues, and as the lights go out and go on for the cars, they all go towards turn 1 onto the braking, and we got Forever going very very wide, having a little bit of contact with, of course, Tits, but still being able to at least do something. They are now battling here, Forever versus Vipersonic into this next section. Once again, battle at the limit of grip. Will Forever be able to do something? He's gonna try his best, keeping it round outside. There's a little bit of contact, but I think he's managed to do it. I think Forever is leading the race from Vipersonic and Tits, but Tits now has a run on Viper as well, so maybe Viper may be losing not 1 but 2 places. All the while we see Alex Maggio getting ominously close, and while the two of them are going side by side into this section, Tits strikes ahead, but let's see if he on the exit is able to stay there, or if actually Vipersonic is able to do something. In the meanwhile, hello Nezu and hello Waffles. Sorry of course for the connection, but you can I hope that you enjoyed at least race 1. But as you can see, Vipersonic now on the limit, trying his best to stay close, all the while Alex Maggio is getting closer and closer and closer to this battle for the lead. Forever is trying his best. He's trying his best to run away from these two, because he knows the more he's gaining now, the less he's gonna have to lose in the next part of the races. And so, as these two break on the limit of grip, go into this next section, they are absolutely trying everything. Let's go on board with Vipersonic. And soon enough, probably we're gonna go on board with Maggio, because he's almost here. And ooh, Vipersonic goes a little bit wide, so surely he's not gonna be having the run of his life. And Maggio, as you can see, lapping the 2:10.3 crazy lap times from the Italian here. He's getting closer and closer, and surely in the next few minutes he's gonna be joining this battle for the lead. And well, I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to do the first challenge here, as he goes very crazy over the curbs and gets now within, I'm pretty sure, within the second of the lead group. Now, on the limit, on the absolute limit of grip, he's going even faster. I'm not sure of the lap time, let me just check real quick. 2:10.0. So yeah, he is here and he is angry, and he is braking for turn 1 and finding a way to fight with 3 very fast drivers of this championship. Into the technical section, all of 3 very very separated by a slight margin, so no battling at least onto this lap. But Maggio very aggressive onto the brake, very aggressive onto the grip, and getting very close to the top 3. What is he gonna do now? Is he gonna be able to mount an attack? Try something? The first of his victim is gonna be probably Vipersonic. Let's see if he can try and invent something. To the next section, he has a little bit of oversteer, but he corrects it quite easily. And now, towards the hairpin, will he mount an attack here? All the while Tits is chasing after Forever, and very likely is gonna be trying something. Behind them, there's just Lopter, also getting closer, but not too much. Oof, attenzione! We have Viper having an uncharacteristic mistake and letting the position to Maggio, who quite easily moves up into the podium and now is chasing after the top 2. 15 minutes left to go, and the battle is still raging on up ahead. And let's see, because Tits is actually getting very, very close to Forever, and I think he may be trying to think on something. Once again, I don't think it's very, very wise to fight right now, especially with Maggio getting this close and this on the limit behind. Or maybe they just know that it's quite inevitable to have to fight with him, so they are just giving everything they have now and leaving everything or nothing on the table for the last few parts of the race. Neither grip for the tires, neither lap times on the leaderboard. But there we go, into the next section, last corner, everyone on the absolute limit, and all 3 of them are here, and Tits goes a little bit wide on the last corner. Maybe this is the run that Maggio was waiting. Let's see if they have to attack into turn 1. They are very close. Maggio is maybe having a look. I think he's close behind. Yes, he's close enough. I think he's gonna be trying onto the brakes, and he brakes very late for a double maneuver, maybe for the lead of the race. They go very close. Forever very out of shape. Tits takes the lead. We have Maggio trying to go down the inside of Forever, and I think he manages to do so. Yes, he does. And so now Maggio drifting into the corner, chasing after Tiziano, who is currently the leader of the race, with Forever trying his best to get close to Maggio, but not close enough to actually counterattack his maneuver. And now we wait and see what can he actually do. If Maggio can actually invent something, do an interesting maneuver on Tits as well. I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna be trying to do something after this corner, going towards the hairpin, and I think so, because he is very close to Tits. And maybe, just maybe, he's gonna be trying something maybe at the inside of this corner. Yes, because Tits is a little bit wide, the grip leaving a little bit the car. And now side by side towards the S. Who's gonna be ahead at the end of this section? Tits is surely not gonna leave any space and not leaving anything for Alex, and Alex has to try something, but still something has to be found. And maybe that something is the outside of the next corner, because Tits is gonna be trying to defend this one, but Alex is gonna be trying round the outside, but it goes wide. He goes wide and cannot complete the maneuver. In the meanwhile, Forever tries to counter-attack him down the inside. I think there was a little bit of contact, not too sure, but the 2 of them manages to survive this one. They are all of them going to the absolute limit. In the meanwhile, I think that behind we had an accident with Adrian, because I see him tumbling down the order, so sad day for him once again. And as the lights go out for Alex, the battle gets intense and most importantly more fire than before. And now, let's see, into the last corner. Ooh, very difficult moment for Tits, trying his absolute best to stay ahead of Alex, but Alex once again is close, and once again is close enough to maybe try and mount a maneuver. Will Tits try and go defensive? Meanwhile, Darts overtakes Ski right behind, but this is not the point. Oh no, actually Darts I think had an accident. Yes, Darts has had an accident, but this is the battle once again for P1, and we have Alex Maggio getting close, but not close enough for a maneuver. Tits is giving everything he has to try and defend his position in this list in this last 11.40 minutes of racing. And it's not gonna be easy. You can see how much faster Alex is on most of the sections of this track. This is a very, very difficult race for all of them, and they are all giving everything here. Into the next section, a little bit wide for Tits. Tits is not probably gonna try something. He's gonna be able to defend. I think probably Alex is just not close enough to try and mount a maneuver. So maybe into this next section there's a dive and a little bit of contact, and Alex loses the rear of the car. He manages to survive, but this is gonna be costing a lot of time to him, because Forever gets close and it's gonna be trying the outside of the next corner, and he's gonna be ahead once again. This battle for the leads keep giving, and there's contact, and Forever loses the rear, but there's still oh my god, there's no love lost between the 2 of them. But still, Alex felt sorry for what he's done and leaves the position back, but Viper is not sorry and decides to take the occasion to get ahead and leave Alex currently, at least temporarily, out of the podium position, because Alex, of course, fights back and now is going to be trying round the outside. These 4 are absolutely giving everything, and oh my god, I think Viper got a little bit too aggressive and lost the rear with a contact with Alex Maggio. Oh man, 10 minutes left to go. I don't know how much it is in laps. It should be at least 5 probably laps left to go. And this battle is still as intense as it was at the beginning of all of this. Alex now, let's go on board with him into the braking zone. He gives here gas very early and they go very aggressive, both of them outside of the track quite clearly. And as we go 10 minutes left to go, they all are trying their best to get something, and Alex has the run quite easily on forever here. All the while we can see Lopter getting closer here for the battle for the lead. And as Alex gets ahead into P2, will Forever try something? Will he try to brake late? I think he's gonna have a valiant effort, which is not gonna end well, especially with Viper Sonic hitting him on the rear, which thankfully doesn't end up in anything catastrophic. Now, once again, all to do once again for Alex, trying to catch back to Tits, which in the meanwhile tried his best to run away from this group and secure what could possibly be a race win, but realistically it's going to be a very difficult position to defend, that P1. And so as everyone now moves and goes into the next section of the track, oh man, let me get a little bit of breath, because Jesus Christ, this was intense. I'm very sorry for the drivers maybe behind, you know, P5 and so on, because I saw there was a lot of battling behind as well, so a lot of cars having both crashes, problems and whatsoever. So I'm sorry if I didn't actually cover that too much, but you can kinda guess why I'm looking at this fighter up ahead, because this is like a chess match in motion. Every move has a reason to be done, and the pace here is quite crazy. Actually, I'm quite curious, what was the last lap time that Tates managed to do? It was a 1:12.5, which is quite nice, but not as impressive as the medium pace that Alex Maggio showed, which was around the 10th point something, or even 9.9, which is very, very fast as a lap time. And I'm pretty sure Alex is still gaining on Tates. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can visibly see the gap getting closer and closer, because now he is once again closing down on the leader of the race, and the battle for the lead may be on once again. We're gonna take the occasion to maybe take a little bit of a look behind. We have Lopter here in P5, then Falcon in P6, followed by Firestar. Then we have Ski, Adriet, Hackbuster and Jason Short battling down behind for, well, I think it's P10, the finishing position of this train. Then we got Darts, which I don't know exactly what happened, but surely nothing too nice to be down here. And then Valiant right behind with Musu here, and of course the retirement of Jamiroquai, who got him out of the race at the beginning of all of this. Now, 2 minutes 10.0 for Alex Maggio, and we get into 7 minutes left to go, and another battle for the lead between these two. Is Alex gonna be able to overtake him, do something, or is he gonna be in a very difficult situation, because we show that Tix can be quite aggressive in the defensive maneuvers, so it's not gonna be as easy as you may think, but at the same time, once he gets ahead, it's not gonna be as easy as you may think to defend the position. So they go towards this right-hander, and now we go towards the first real overtaking opportunity of this racetrack, which is of course the hairpin. And once again, Alex absolutely flying on the exit of the corner. Is he gonna try something? He's making Tits think about it. Tits trying to stay as close as possible, but once again they're gonna stay close toward the exit. A little bit of contact, but nothing too bad. No love lost between the two of them, and now they move towards the S once again. Who's gonna be ahead? Yes, once again Tits manages to stay ahead. I think mainly Alex lifted a little bit to try and imprint a maneuver right here, and so it does. They are side by side into the brakes. Tits defends once again, and this time Alex is a little bit smarter, tries to not go wide, and he's gonna be trying maybe a maneuver into the chicane, which is gonna be quite crazy if he does. They're gonna be on the limit, a little bit too much on the limit for Alex, who touches a little bit of grass on the exit. And now, towards the next section of the track. I don't think Alex is close enough for a maneuver yet, but I think he's gonna be aiming not for the chicane, but more like for the last corner. So let's see. Into the chicane. He's getting closer, of course. Mounting the curbs, big on the limit. And yes, as I expected, he's gonna go on the inside of the last corner. Tits trying to keep it down. The outsider's contact is leaving nothing on the table, and the two of them go side by side into the start-finish straight. 5 minutes left to go and as well. So this battle is all but over. Now, let's see if Tits can try and do something on the outside of turn 1. He's gonna have to break. There's contact between the two of them. Tender. Is Tits gonna be able to defend? He's gonna be going on the inside or he's gonna be staying on the outside? He's gonna be staying on the outside and Alex takes the invitation but he's not close enough to try and do a maneuver. Now, he's gonna have to see if the hairpin is gonna be lucky. Let's go on board with him. On the exit, I think Tits has a little bit of a better exit, but of course, Alex is still a very big menace here. And he's gonna be staying here, close to the left side, close to the white line. Onto the brakes, they go both wide, trying to get the best exit possible out of this corner, and both of them getting towards the next section, the Schumacher S's. Let's see what they can do. Meanwhile, behind, I think Forever and Vipersonic will have to contend with Lobder, who is here in this last section of the race. 4 minutes left to go, and the battle is still raging on between these two. Let's see into this left-hander. Alex trying to get close now onto the right-hander, trying his absolute best to get a better exit on Tits, and I think he has got it, or maybe not. They are very, very close. Let's see from the onboard. I think it's once again it's gonna be a maneuver on the last corner of the racetrack. Both of them going at the maximum speed available for this car, which is 240 km/h. On the brakes, into the chicane, over the curbs, flying on 2 wheels. This is MotoGP, lads. And now into the last corner. Tits brakes very late, but maybe a little bit too late. Alex tries to go on this side, but there's no space there. And now both of them are racing towards the first corner once again. In all of this, Lobder overtook Viper. Sorry if I missed that. But there we go, towards turn 1. The battle rages on. And this time Alex is not joking. Going down the inside, he cannot find the space. And this goes wide. This goes very wide. I think this is it. I think this may be it for Alex. He's gonna be trying to stay ahead. This is desperately trying to get down the inside of Alex, but Alex goes wide as well, but is okay. He's gonna be ahead at this section. Tits trying his absolute best to do something, to get an exit, to find a way through on the red mist of Alex Maggio, who is currently leading with 2 minutes left to go. This amazing race 2 of MYASS. Let's see if maybe Tits can do something, if can find the pace of maybe even just a maneuver, a miraculous one, to try and get back into the lead. It doesn't look so, as Alex goes maybe a little bit wider, contact! A little bit of dirty tactics, but everything is allowed in MYASS. And as we can see, they are both going towards the hairpin. Is he gonna be able to go down the inside? It's a dive bomb and a half, and I think he's gonna be able to stay there. There's contact, but they are still inside the track. Forever getting closer to this battle for the lead. 2 minutes left to go. Next lap is gonna be probably the last one. And this is all or nothing for these two, side by side towards the next left-hander, which is gonna be crucial. And crucially, Tits has the inside line, which is the defensive one. Let's see if he can break hard enough to keep Alex behind. Alex tries, there's still a little bit of contact, and he cannot get through. What a defensive drive, and Forever tries to have a look, but he's not able to find a way through. Tits is giving everything here to stay ahead, and everything is giving to us as entertaining value, because holy hell, this is a race and a half. Let's go towards the chicane for the penultimate time in this 30 minutes ordeal, which it felt like nothing, and ooh, Alex Maggio loses the car! Alex Maggio loses the car on the chicane! Disaster for the favorite! Holy hell, this is something I was not expecting. And now we move towards the last lap with Tits leading, followed by Forever, and then in third place Lobter, which, well, oh man, I'm not sure if Alex will be angry or whatever, because I'm sure he will have to say something to Tits after that, because that was intense, but oh man, what an intense race this was. What an intense battle we had for the last few laps of this race. But still, it's not over. Probably a little bit less pressure for Tits, because I'm not saying that Forever is not a weak driver, but surely it's a little bit less pressurous than Alex. And as these two go towards the last section of this track for the last time, the timer now 20 seconds left. Oh man, I'm trying to get some breath, because Jesus Christ almighty, what the hell was that? We go towards this right-hander. I'm not sure if Forever is actually driving on the limits, if he's trying his best to catch this. I think he is, because I know these lads give absolutely everything in races like this. The clock now hits 0. The checkered flag is out, and we watch as Tits has just got, you know, one sector left to go between him and possibly what could be, well, a very surprise win really here in this MYASS championship. So as we go towards the S's, as we go towards the famous left-hander, which probably has a name but I've forgotten, Tits driving on the absolute limit. Maybe a little bit over the limit at some point, but everything is okay. Everything should be okay. He gets, once again, a little bit on the grass, so does Lobder right behind. But now, between him and the checkered flag, there's just one corner, and one corner only, which is, of course, the chicane, and, of course, the last corner, actually. Lobder is trying to stay close, of course, to the group ahead, but I don't think he's going to be able to do something from that far behind, as Forever gets a little bit out of shape. But they are all safe and true. And through the last corner, after one grueling and intense race, Tiziano Raimondi wins at the Nürburgring Race 2 for MYASS. All the while Forever finishes in P2, third place for Lobder. Then we got Alex Maggio, sadly in P4, but still a very valiant fight for him, and really give him credit because Jesus fucking Christ, he is fast. Then Vipersonic P5, P6 for Falcon, Firestar in P7. Then, very nice race actually, although I didn't show too much of it, for the Kurma number 443 of Skill Tree, although he's still fighting with Jason Short, and into the last corner is gonna be fighting for P8. Let's see if he's gonna be able to keep the position. It's a fight to the limit, to the line, little bit of weaving to be completely honest, but he manages to get through. Then we got Darts fighting for the last moment with Adriet and manages just about to stay ahead. Then Valiant GP in P12, behind them Hackbuster now closes the race in P13, I think. Yeah, should be P13. Let's just wait for him. Yeah, a little bit out of shape, but still valiantly on the line. And with that, we also have Musu, very far away. I just noticed that I lost the track map, so my bad on that. But we wait for him, for the Kurma 447, to get on the line. And with that, the first round of MYASS should be history. And man, let me tell you, what history it is. This was surely a race. And well, I'm very happy that I managed to show it to you, with all the technical difficulties and everything, but I'm very happy that I managed to broadcast this whole event to you, and hopefully it was entertaining enough to be something that we shall all remember in one way or another. So, as Musu gets through the last few corners of the track, here we go, on the brakes on the last corner, we can finally say that the last race 2 of this championship, actually of round 1 of this championship, is complete. And with that, well, I'm gonna put the "we'll be right back" thing on the stream. I'm gonna close the game, and well, I'm gonna look at the chat because Jesus Christ, that was something. I don't know who's following the stream. If someone is following the stream, hopefully yes. And if the drivers are following the stream, I want to know if if they want to maybe do interviews or anything. I didn't have that planned, but seeing how intense this was, maybe they want. So yeah, Tits, if you want to do some interviews, I would absolutely do that. So I would probably move into some chat on the downtown. I don't know which one. I'm probably gonna go on to, let's see, voice chat. I don't know, Tits, do we have a voice chat for this kind of stuff? Just asking. Just asking real quick. Thank you for being there, of course. Okay, let me take a little bit of breath because, as you can hear, my voice is a little bit gone. But yeah, that being said, I just will see. Maybe I'll just move into the voice chat and see. Yeah, if you want to join, be onto the stream, you can. So now I'm onto the voice. If you're gonna hear from all the drivers joining, it's gonna be quite soon. And that being said, well, first of all, thank you for watching this race because that was incredible. I hope it was not frustrating for anyone. I saw a lot of contacts and everything, but I'm pretty sure it was great racing all around. So hopefully that's what mainly what we got from this. And I'm gonna try and save the replays. Hopefully, I hope that the replays got saved. Yes, it did, thankfully. Okay, let me just save it as race MYASS race 1. Let me do that real quick. And MYASS race 2. Keep. Okay, I saved the replays, which were very nice. Not forever. I can guarantee you I was trying to actually cast the whole race, and yeah. Tell me who you want, and I'll show you. Actually, who wants to go first? It's really. We can maybe talk to if there's Alex Maggio. I would like to have an interview with him because he was the race 1 winner and everything. So yeah, of course, we're gonna see if we are able to have some interviews. Yeah, my voice after Turkish slurpee clearly absolutely destroyed my vocal cord. Actually, let me do a little bit of an announcement there.
Hello.
Hello there. I am talking to.
Sorry. Eccomi qua.
Well, that's a way to start an interview, surely. But first of all, hello to, well, the protagonists of Race 2 and also the protagonist of Race 1, which is, of course, Alex. So, where do we start, really? Where do you want to start? Do you have something in general to say about this whole event? Was it hopefully fun for you?
Yes, it
I
was just as fun as it was stressful for probably the both of us. Maybe
Yeah,
race 1 was
totally.
a bit chiller for me on my side because I didn't really have anyone to bother me. But yeah, race 2 was a bit different in that side of things. But
Yeah, I gotta say, race 1 for me was a little more, could say, agitated.
Yeah.
We had a great fight for P3, and I'm very sad that we had some connection issues where I punted Firestar and I rear-ended Viper because of connection issues. But that happens, and yeah, we closed race 1 where we could. Race 2 was a kind of a mess at the beginning, but eventually we were fighting for P1, and the entire time me and Forever and Viper were stressing about Alex gaining on us. And to be fair, I honestly don't know what came over me, but I was not gonna let him run away with P1. I don't know where the re-overtake on the penultimate lap came from, but yeah, great fight, honestly.
Yeah, if you hear me with well, much less voice than I used to have before, this whole thing is because of you two. So yeah.
I
great.
will rewatch every single second of this live stream because I need to see, I need to hear the comment.
Yeah, it was absolute hit. So yeah, first of all, thank to both of you for the entertaining race. I hope you really had a lot of fun. It was, well, a nice win from both of you, of course. Alex, I know it was maybe a little bit boring for race 1 to be ahead and running away, but I'm sure at least race 2 made up for that. So
Yeah, it did.
so
Honestly, if I have to be completely honest, the fight with Tiz and Furrow was very nice, but I must say that they do break quite soon compared to me. So sometimes I
Okay.
was very close to running into both of their backs, but eventually when
Okay.
I spun in the last lap or the penultimate lap, I spun because I broke where I usually break for the last chicane, right? His probably broke where he usually breaks, but obviously there's a difference in where we break. So I kind of rear-ended him and I got the worst out of it. But
I mean,
whatever.
I'll explain. Basically, I usually brake a little bit later in that corner. After usually it's a bit after the 100-meter mark, but every time in the even in the test races, every time at least once or twice, I got absolutely destroyed by by the curbs, or I ended up in the wall. And seeing myself running in P1, I didn't really want to risk it that much. So I was braking a little bit earlier, also to try and have a cleaner run through the chicane, because I saw how fast you were through it. And like braking a little bit earlier was also kind of a way. I first of all, I was doing it through the entire race because I didn't trust myself. But in the fight, in the context of the fight, seeing that I had to defend like a monster because you were so much faster on pace, I had to try and slow you down
Yeah,
without trying
somehow.
too hard. Yeah, somehow that would mean braking a little bit earlier than I usually do, maybe trying to hug the inside more and maximizing exit speed. That
Yeah.
worked a lot. And when you passed me on we got side by side on the last corner and then on the front straight, I just went, okay, I cannot let this happen again, because if it happens again, he's passing me without a doubt. So that's kind of what went through my mind. I tried defending, breaking a little early. I'm sorry that you rear-ended me and that you got
I
the
mean, it's
short end
not
of the
your
stick.
fault. You were doing your line. You're fine, bro.
Yeah, but still, it would have been more cinema if we went all the way to the end with the fight. But still, I
Yeah.
gotta say, thanks for the great fight. It was absolutely amazing. It was inspiring. I had really had to pull every move from my book, and for that I have to thank the Catalan School of Defense. And yeah, so I thank you for the great fight. I thank everyone else, all the guys that watched the stream, all the guys that raced, and I thank Max, because this championship has been in the making for a long, long time. I was skeptical at the beginning when we were testing in Laguna Seca, but as soon as that
I
horrible
remember
track,
that very well.
as soon as that horrible track went away, I found my pace. And racing in the test races with Max has been one of the most fun experiences I've had. And this championship is just amazing. Like, we were all so close. I saw people get great pace, like improving in the race, and that was just amazing. So thank everyone. Thank you, Alpha, because this is a great idea and a great championship.
Well, once again, thank for you both. Then, of course, when you will back, will you watch back the stream, you will notice that there was also battling a lot in the midfields and the other part of the tracks.
Oh yes.
I couldn't sadly.
We're gonna watch it together. So you're not going away. You're staying while I walk through all of it.
Oh well, if you're watching this stream, remember to call 911 and call help for me. That being said, of course, yes, of course I will watch it back, because I will have to see the kind
Cinema.
of banter that happened. But yeah, the only sad thing that I couldn't really watch every single battle on the track, because there was a lot happening really all the time. But
Oh, yeah.
surely it was fun as hell to watch. So
And
thank you,
with that, I
thank you
want
very.
to-
Sorry.
No, I wanted to, as I was saying, I wanted to give you an assist now for the next two people to interview. You would want to interview Firestar and Falcon, because they were and also Forever and Viper, because they were having absolutely great fights, and Firestar and Falcon just became ops for no reason.
Okay, then I think we know the next one, so I think we'd probably be going for Falcon and Firestar at this point.
The only thing I'm disappointed about is that I didn't get the 208. That's the only thing. But that happens, I guess.
It happens.
Gotta try harder next time.
Damn, we are so cooked. All right.
Well, next round
I'm
is gonna
gonna
be
leave
the endurance in Sebring, so have a good one, and good luck with
I'm
that.
so fucking cooked. All right, I'm gonna leave the stage for the others. Thanks, Alpha.
same
See you
here.
later.
Alrighty,
Thank you, Alpha. See ya.
see ya. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna put some replays of the race in the background, so yeah, it's not gonna be anything too serious. We're just gonna have this one to loop behind. In the meanwhile, the next ones are gonna be, I think, Falling Falcon and Firestar. Hello, boys. How are you
Hello.
going?
Hello.
Yeah.
Just relaxing, breathing the fresh air, and I opened my door. Absolutely cooked.
So, how was the race for you? I saw a lot of contacts spinning and everything between, well, both of you and all the grid, but just if you want to tell me how was your experience in general, it's up to you here in the interview.
It was
was-
eventful.
It was eventful, yes, yeah. It was so fun, but I was so terrified of like even the smallest of contacts because of the netcode just wants to absolutely kill anyone. As we
Yeah.
found out multiple times against each other.
Also, a lot of teleporting cars,
A
which
lot of
was
teleporting
scary.
cars.
Oh yeah,
But
maybe.
it was
And-
very, very fun.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad to hear because I saw, of course, there was a little bit of contact between both of drivers, and there was a little bit afraid that maybe people would get frustrated or maybe something like that. But hearing that you all had fun is really a relief, really, and it's very nice to
Yeah.
see that you all enjoy this this event.
At
We
the
of
start
course,
of the
as always, killed each other multiple times.
yeah, it's kind of almost a tradition now. Every championship we both participated in, we always end up right next to each other, and always like either we are like it's friends to enemies or enemies to friends. It's just like we're always like very competitive with each other, and we just die.
Door to door. And
Door
then
to
we
door.
just die, yeah.
Yeah, and then we just miss the breaking point. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, I'm just showing a little bit of replays on the race on the stream, but it's just to keep something in the background. But yeah,
Yes.
that being said, yeah, very glad you had incredible paces, both of you really, Firestar and Falcon. Like especially in qualifying, it was very interesting to see how there was no clear way to say who was going to be into P2. Actually, Alex was clearly in P1 with the incredible lap times he was pulling, but the battle for P2 was not only very intense but very difficult to tell and to predict. So it was very nice to see all of you being this competitive.
I would like to say on the qualifying part, I didn't have a good lap set. I think I was like 8th until like the last like penultimate lap of qualifying, because I kept like, okay, I'll leave like a 7-second gap, and I just keep catching up to the cars in front, or like they spin in front of me or whatever, and I just only on the last lap did I put something together, and that was so stressful.
Yeah, I can absolutely understand you on that. And yeah, that being said, is there maybe a moment that you remember in one of the two races that, you know, stick out to you, to something that maybe it was absolutely incredible, something you may remember for a long time about this whole thing?
There is one thing. We did this in practice as well, but when I overtook Falcon into the inside of turn, I think it's 7, the long right-hander,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to go deep, and then he switchbacks on that corner, and we both go like door to door into the Schumacher chicane.
yeah.
That's absolute peak, absolute cinema.
Fantastic, absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. I hope it was in the stream because, of course, as you know, there was a big grid really in this race. So I tried to watch as much as possible every single battle on the track, but I cannot guarantee you I saw everyone. So hopefully that was one of the moments I captured, and if I didn't, hopefully I have the replay files, so this will be remembered in all of eternity. So yeah, what can I say really?
I think we did it a few times. So
That's
it's probably
likely.
in there
That's very
somewhere.
likely. That is very likely. But yeah, what can I say? First of all, thank you, both of you, of course, for the show, for the racing, for the pace and everything. And what else can I say really? Do you want to say something on stream? Whatever you really want to say?
Thank you for hosting it.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Thank you for my ass.
No problem. All right, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna move on to the next batch of interviewers, which, well, I'm not sure where they're gonna be, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really have the power to move you out of the interviews route, so I'm kinda here stuck
I'll
with
leave
you.
you willingly.
I guess we are all stuck together.
We're not stuck
Yeah,
with you,
well,
you're stuck
yeah.
with us.
Good luck with the interviews, and
Cheers.
get your voice on
Get
rest.
it here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, next up, let's see if we can actually get into the interview room. Probably forever, and I think the other one who maybe want to get inside might be Viper Sonic. So hopefully Tits can hear me on the stream. If he doesn't, it's gonna be a little bit of an issue because I can't move people. So I'm gonna try maybe to ask if Tits can move people. Let's see. Tits, can we get Viper and Forever? If they want. I'm gonna ask, of course. I don't know if they are in the voice chat or whatever. Because mainly they are the other two people I saw there that were kind of interested in taking part in this, of course. Also, who is this man? I don't know. There's a guy who asked, when are we doing another season of this? Because he found out just now about this. And well, I don't know really, but if we do another season, surely we're gonna have everyone in, or at least most people in possible. And we have Forever and we have Viper Sonic here in the interview room. So first of all, thank you for the incredible show. And second, well, what's the first thing you want to say about this whole event?
Setup important thing is setup here.
Okay.
My hand hurts.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. So hopefully it was a fun event for both of you. I saw, well, Forever had an incredible race 2 and an interesting race 1 surely, and Vipersonic had an eventful race both 1 and 2, although it was a little bit unlucky in race 1 for something that Tits discussed before in the interview. But tell me whatever you want really about the race for us first thing.
Yeah, for race one, because I think it's better if we start both with one. Yeah, I had a problem at the start because I was AFK for like a minute because I had to do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrongfully inserted the first gear when I got back to the PC. So yeah, I just got a drive-through and I hate myself for that, but to look at the feel half of the of the cup, it's better because I did what, like 8 overtakes, I don't know. I was last. I had a bit of a problem with Ricardo, which I hope will excuse me. And yeah, I was probably a bit too much aggressive. And after that, yeah, it was a continuous. How can I say it? Yeah. I just continue to go on and overtake people. At the end, yeah, I still had a loss because I started 8th, I finished 9th, so it was still a loss. Race 2, although, yeah, be it the reverse grid, be it a better start, and the fact that, yeah, I'm pretty good at defending when I want rather than attacking. Yeah, I mean, the rest is history.
Yeah, I was just about to ask also why in race 1 you went into the pit lane, but I guess you just explained it quite well. So, yeah, unlucky in race 1, but you had an amazing race 2, and that's of course great to hear. Now, about you instead, Vipersonic. Of course, there was a little bit of an unlucky thing that happened in race 1, of course, but instead race 2 was quite great in contrast. So, talk about it.
Yeah, race 1, it was. Yeah, the collision I had with this was an Assetto Corsa issue.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen sometimes. He just teleported too fast into me and we bounced together. Thankfully I didn't lose too much from it. He lost a little bit more. But yeah, it was an okay race. But second race was way more pressing on me. I had to push really hard.
Yeah.
And with my setup, I think I think it was a little slower than the default. I really messed up with my setup. But yeah, near the end of the second race, I crashed and spun and lost like 2 places.
I think probably we missed on the broadcast the end of race 2, but I think you still had a very nice result at the end of well, in reality both races really. So
Indeed.
yeah, so overall I think it was a very positive let's say event for
Yes,
you.
I enjoyed pushing myself with the challenges.
Well, that's great to hear. And the other thing I may want to ask is, well, next race is gonna be the longer one, the endurance, and it's gonna be in Sebring. Now, I don't know how much you know Sebring or the new track, but do you have anything in store or anything in mind for that race, or do you want to go in blind like you kinda did for this one?
I know that track very well, and I look forward to racing in it.
Ah, nice. And you, Forever?
I mean, Sebring, it's a track that I already drove it with the Miata. The thing is that it feels a bit weird, but it's probably because the tarmac is bumpy and there's this bumpiness all over the place. It's a bit uncomfortable. It's a bit uncomfortable. But no, I think I'll do like I did today, and I'll probably go not completely blind, but I'll train air quote on it probably like for the 2-3 days before race day. Just because it's a chill championship. We are here to have fun and to have a chaotic yet fun experience. So yeah, I think I'll do this.
All right, that's absolutely great to hear. So yeah, I don't really have too many questions because I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm not too expert at doing interviews post-race or everything. But it's still great to have you here. Have you explain, let's say, what you enjoyed and everything. So yeah, that being said, I don't think I have anything else to add. If you do, well, this is the right time to do so. So yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
don't have anything else to say. We'll see you in the next race.
Yes, sir. Thank you for organizing this.
No problem, and thank you for racing in it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I might ask again if there's someone else who wants to join. And if there's no one else, well, I think we're gonna be, of course, going for the end of this stream and this event, which, once again, proved to be quite intense. But yes, we have someone. We have Jason Schott
God.
here. Hello there, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you? You got any particular questions?
I don't know.
Race story or
I think I should be the one doing
looking
questions,
forward?
but sure.
I know you went through like a few questions. I mean, you could just throw the same ones at me. I hadn't been hardly listening in the broadcast. I don't know exactly what you want.
I mean, I'm
Um,
just random stuff. Also, hey, Adrian, you are here too, as I can see. And actually, let me just increase the volume a little bit for you, so you can be heard a little bit better. But yeah, main thing I ask maybe everyone is, how was the race for you? Was it fun? Was it how was it in general?
It's weird. I'd say I had to be a little cocky here in my ass. I know, but I had pace at least a little bit. I had follow behind people who were actually fast paced, but I was never able to really stick it to the pavement. Every time I had what I thought was a good corner, I'd always mess up, or I'd find myself behind someone who messed it up even further. That would mess up my race. And sometimes, actually every time, on the starts when I had cold tires, I didn't know really where to put the car. So I put the car in a place, and I get into a corner alongside someone, and I'm asking too much of the car, and the whole thing spins. So between both of the races, I had good pace. And I was able to at least get to the midfield. But it always spin somewhere, so I'd had to go and get those positions back. So I'm really disappointed with how I did, even with my scheme. My scheme gives extra racing points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I guess I gotta look forward to Sebring. Basically, I haven't really been looking at the schedule. Sebring's a nice track, except for the fact I'm really bad at racing it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that earlier, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna
Yeah,
it's gonna prove to be probably interesting because
yeah,
these race cars can actually do well.
Sebring's definitely going to be. Yeah, Sebring's going to be very interesting because last time, at least for me, it will be. Because last time I went to Sebring, in, I guess, a racing event, was probably a year ago in like automation exported cars to BeamNG Drive, and those were 800 horsepower, front engine V8, kind of like Trans Am, like modern Trans Am cars. They had solid axles. They could not grip anywhere. Or at least I couldn't get them to grip up at all. But these Miatas are way different to drive, so it's definitely going to be something new for me. It's going to be new for everyone. It's going to be fun for sure. And of course, everyone here we're all gunning for Maggio, and Maggio's trying to slightly outpace away from us. He's kind of bus driving it.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you he had fun as well, and surely he has some competition up there. So
every lag when I went into like Falcon's car, like completely like clipped into it, like a whole lag spot. Every single one of those I will take in stride because it's just a game. Why are you so mad? It's just a game.
No, but so far I heard that mainly everyone had fun, so that's great to hear. So that's fantastic. And also speaking of that, of course, Adred, on your side instead, how was the racing? How was your race in general?
I mean, it was fun, definitely. I've been making a lot of rookie mistakes along the entire race because it's my first time doing something like this. I had hopes to holding on to some points on the reverse grid race. I got absolutely mown over on the start.
Well, it happens sadly.
But I could come back to fifth, I think. But then it was like people were catching up. I had another touch and sent me back like 11, 12. And I had 10th until the last chicane that I messed up the braking point. And it was a drag race to the line and I lost it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's all experience. It's all good experience that you can gain. So at the end of the day, if you had fun, that's the best thing about racing. So I'm glad to hear about that.
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 people that are on my pace that I had like a really good race with. Like I think Skilltrack. I was really on par in pace with him. But I need to look setups as well. I was working with the.
Does the car seem understeer to you at all, or?
Yeah, it does.
Basically, turn up the rear suspension. If you look at the graph and you think I'm gonna spin this car, it probably feels right, or probably is right. I have my rear springs pretty much all the way up. So, just try that. Maybe a lot of rear sway bar, and I think you'll be closer in line to where you want.
Yeah, I'll take a look into it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so with this little help of setups between these 2 drivers, we actually had some close battling. I'm just showing a little bit of the replay of race 1 and seeing right now the battle between you 2. You had, well, what can I say? Is there anything you want to say here on the live stream now that you can say it now?
I don't know who I was racing with at the end. I'm of course not paying too much attention to the TVs on the screen, but who was I racing to the line there in race 2? If you ever caught that,
I think it was, well, either it was Adriet or I'm not sure, because in race 2 there was like a big battle for the lead, so it was focusing mostly
Yeah,
on
you
that.
were focusing on that, and probably the aftermath of that. No, there was someone I was racing for 8th place, and he was. When we got into the straight, we were kind of dead even. We couldn't go anywhere, and we were kind of weaving back and forth. I was trying to look in, I was trying to look out, and he beat me to the line. I couldn't go anywhere. with it.
Maybe a
Whoever that,
Buster.
whoever that
Could it be?
was, it might have been Hackbuster. Whoever it was, that was a good battle. I have
So
to
we
say.
had 2 drag races to the line on the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had. Well, the cars are pretty equal, you know. I have to give it up to.
Well, they tell me it
Assetto
was
Corsa
they
for
tell me it
being
was Skilltech
powerful
from
and great at
the
same time.
chat. They tell me it was Skilltech.
Skilltech.
Yep.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I had some unfortunate races, and I had to drive my way back, and it came down to that at the very last moment. I could have got. I didn't even know I got points. I thought the points went down to 8th place.
I think it's up
But,
to 10th, so I mean, we don't
I'll have
really
to recheck.
wonder too much about points, but yeah,
I think it's 10th, yeah.
should be around
for
P10 for the
points.
points, but still, I once again don't worry too much about points. It's more about fun and everything. So, yeah, I mean, there's points, but it's not the point, is it? So that being said, yeah, it's great to hear that you had fun, and well, I don't know what else to say really.
That's all the questions you have for me. I guess I'll go. You have a good day, I suppose.
You have a good day as well, and well, I hope you both will have fun in the next event as well.
Yep.
I
hope
will.
so.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Good night. And with that said, well, I don't know if there's anyone else who wants to be interviewed, but I think we are pretty much good with interviews. I'm gonna still ask maybe to see if maybe someone wants, just to be sure. So just to be completely sure, I'm gonna ask anyone else. I'm a little bit, of course. Max, when you want, we are in voice 1. Okay, I think that's a little bit the way to say that this is done and dusted for as an event, and maybe not, because
Sorry.
Tits enters with his battle phrase, as we can hear.
I just wanted to tell you that the interviews are over. Sorry.
Okay, fantastic. So as the race direction, wait a fucking minute, I am the race direction. So anyway, interviews are over, and with this poetic sight of Adriet driving his Miata in the live stream, I thank you all for watching, and I say to you all, see you in the next round. Bye bye, and have a good night.